Now to book your appointments on 0904 555 6677 or 0808 177 5448. Are you tired of living with toothache, bad breath, or
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
What's a successful business without sales? And what is sales without an audience? Well, do you know that you can reach 8 million listeners across 6 states in 2 geopolitical zones all at once? How? With Today 95.1 FM, you can get millions of people to know about your business. And what does that mean to you? More sales. Call 081 389 2850 now for more information.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Attention, please.
My people, opportunity don't land oh. You won't go waka go other countries for work or go school with scholarship? Pensazo Travels they here to help you get genuine visa to go Kuwait, Belarus, Canada, Qatar, Australia, America, Europe, Seychelles, and many other countries oh. Work there for both people who don't finish school and then we never finish school. For Pensazo Travels, you don't need to pay any service fee until your visa don't land oh. Come visit us today for Pensazo Travels, Clarinach Plaza, opposite Tosque Oil and Gas by SAS Road, or call 070-4110-2424. I take them again, 070-4110-2424. Terms and conditions,
Say no to the ordinary. Embrace the extraordinary, because we are the voice of the people. Voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM.
I go face my front. I don't resolve, I don't feel good. But the way where you suddenly change my mind, it didn't work out. The truth be say, I know you spend the truth be say, I know you spend she cast a spell on me. I did feel of the world. I don't feel good. I don't feel good. She cast a spell. Medicine for my body, analyzing your body. I don't feel it now. Oh no, stand on and shut me for body. This kind of love is congee. Mesmerizing with your body. I don't feel it now. Oh no, the way you smile, I shine that it look. You make me happy to the body. Your body, oh no, I don't feel it now. I'm you get to. I know feel good now. I know feel good now. She put something to me. I feel off the wall. I know feel good now. I know feel good It's yours. Take it like it's yours, but we won't take pictures. Don't let nobody see us, cause tonight of all nights I see your brake light, you skirt into my light. Let me put it down on you if you don't understand. Let me break it down for you. Baby, I'm in love with you, baby, I'm in love with you, baby. Oh, like I miss you, like I need you, like I never see you again. I'ma play this sound when I put it down. From the first day I saw you, you tell me you love me and you hate me at the same time. See me see trouble. See, I'm crazy, you know this, but you said you chose this. And it keep me close like you, make I know yours, make I know me. Let me put it down on you if you don't understand. Let me break it down for you. Baby, I'm in love with you, baby, I'm in love with you, baby. Oh, like I miss you, like I need you, like I never see you again. I'ma play this sound when I put it down.
Tune in for a journey beyond the ordinary.
Fasten your seatbelt.
We're not just a station.
We are the station.
Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Welcome to the Express Show, where we take a look at the economy, and we're going to be looking at the economy of River State, the way forward, how we can build the economy of River State. Yes, we've talked so much about the state of emergency, but after that, what next? Should River State just remain like that? If you don't take action, things will keep on deteriorating. You must take action. You must look at alternatives. I have said it before, even before this state of emergency, that governors should look for a way to start playing at the international waters and leave this local environment. What do I mean? The seat of a governor confers on you authority to go and knock on doors, and those doors will be open, international doors. Unfortunately, our governors just stay within this circle to play international, to play local waters. The governor of a state is like the president of a country. I've been saying this even before this whole thing happened. That all this, we just wait. One small allocation will come. Then you do small IGR. It's not enough. Even with probably all the distractions that were happening, politically speaking, you can nominate people that can take care of all those issues. And you go abroad. Go to some of these countries who have things that you need. Meet with their prime minister. Meet with the president. Talk with them. You go. You don't even need citizens to go and look for investors. You as the governor. And River State is a strategic place. If I was a governor, hardly would you see me in this the affect meeting. Maybe my deputy will be going there. I will be in the international waters talking with foreign agencies, foreign investors, foreign presidents, because I have immunity. That's one. Two, by law, I am the chief security officer of the state. I am also the chief economic officer of the state. So the president of the country cannot say he is traveling. Why me? I'm traveling. No, Oga, do your own. Me, I have a duty to secure my people's destiny. With that, millions of dollars and billions of dollars can come into the state. You secure your state, security-wise, economically-wise, and social-wise. When you're able to do that, whatever they are doing cannot touch you, because the state is, yes, not too independent of the country, but also independent of itself. Because when you talk about the Land Use Act, the governor holds lands in trust. So even if the president, the federal government wants to come and do a project in the state, they must contact me. You can't just come and lay one block without contacting me. However, how can the economy of River State grow? We have Maxwell Atago. He's an entrepreneur, oil and gas expert, CEO of Flamingos Energy Services and Innovation Limited. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Maxwell. Well, the state of the state today is highly sympathetic. It's so unfortunate that we have found ourselves. And in all of this, the future of the state tend to blink. And that is why the idea of you lead, I follow, we have seen it. It has brought pain, it has brought destruction, it has brought ridicule in the image of the state. I was talking to someone yesterday and he said River State is overrated. What will you say? A state where such a thing is happening and nobody's talking, the leadership that they give to you people, because they say you lead, I follow now. The leadership that they give to you people is not able to defend the state to this point where we are. And it tells a lot about the future of the state. Somebody who have not been to River State before will judge River State by the activities and events. It shows people they are not enlightened, it shows people they are not educated, it shows people they are weaklings, it shows a lot of things. And it tell a lot. And by, should I say, rating, if let us say football rating, the rating of River State has dropped drastically and seriously. And, looking at it from the economic angle. When you talk about the economy is activities that are made by humans, by man, that tend to deal with their means of livelihood and survival. Now, one of the things you consider before you think about investment is the risk factor. Before you go in, the factor has to do with the culture of the people, has to do with level of mental sophistication, has to do with their level of technological advancement, has to do with their social orientation and behavior. And then when you have a state of this magnitude and you have this kind of event that are unfolding, naturally you'll be scared of going there to invest. That's the truth. Because it shows they are not organized. No matter the level of conflict, they should be able to, among themselves, look at issues, and then resolve it. When such issues are not being resolved, it shows that the people are still backward. They are still backward. Let me put it so. People are not civilized. The people are not. They are petty. Let me put it so in nature. You had what's his name? A mighty country like Russia, who woke up one morning to take over Ukraine. He did it before, and he took over the Crimea region. Then there was the leadership, but the leadership could not do anything. And then the people saw that, man, this is not the kind of leadership we want. Looking at this man as a potential danger to our existence, to our culture, to our economy, and to our country as a nation. They went in for the one whom they feel has the capacity, in case it will occur. And then capacity was shown when it will occur. Do you understand? And then that mighty man, which is Zelensky, that mighty man, that mighty country that before the entire Europe were scared of him, including America. That small boy, I've exposed him to the world, and man, he's just a noisemaker. That is leadership. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then because of the level of confidence and faith he has shown in his ability of a small country to challenge the so-called Almighty, his people killed behind him. The ones in abroad returned home. The one that are boxer went home, and they said, man, no matter, yes, there will be casualty, but we will defend our land. And then some say they took their mother to nearby countries, ensured the safety of their wife and their mother, and they come back. Some ladies even come back. They say they must join the force to defend their country. And then when you talk about global rating today, Ukraine is a pride of the EU.
Exactly.
The whole country, everybody want to talk with Zelensky, every country want to invite him.
And he doesn't wear suit and agbada.
He doesn't wear suit and agbada.
It's just one
small... carry convoy here and there, blow siren. No. But
a former comedian.
Yes, a former comedian. He's emotional.
He's not been into politics before. That's why, Mr. Maxwell, I said something. I said, if God puts you in a position, you have to grow into that position.
Of course. You have to.
There's no excuse about, I've not done this before. After all, nobody has done anything before.
Before we came into this, we never walked. The day came, we started crawling.
Exactly.
That's like this. Do you understand? Today, America, who had after that confrontation with Donald Trump, they are back. The president made up his mind. He's going to sign the deal because the country right now is highly rated. In fact, he's more like leading EU. You understand? He has upped his security budget, and then he has almost like imposed it. He has, he has sell the idea to other EU nations.
Yeah, you need to protect. Yes, this guy is a threat.
Of course, and then a lot of them, majority of them have upped their security budget, their defense budget.
Today, that Donald Trump is now talking with Putin that you need to calm down.
Oh, of course, because the guy has shown capacity, the country has shown capacity. You understand? Whosoever is the leader is the image of the state. That's the truth. Whosoever is the leader is the image of the state. And then, in terms of war, you must defend the state. In terms of political aggression, you must defend. In terms of economic aggression, economic failures, it is your constitutional responsibility to stand for your people. But unfortunately, the process of employment is one of the challenges we are having. The process of recruiting these leaders. Somebody will just go and pick somebody from somewhere and say, leader, follow. Meanwhile, the man who brought him for selfish interest and not for you. So what are you following? Do you understand what I'm saying? Lead and follow. Have you not seen where he landed us? River State resources is being shared by the whole world. Somebody in another state will bring leader, another person will bring. The state has become, and then, do you know the worst part? People outside looked at you from that angle. And then somebody told me that River State is overrated. Is it not shameful? What will I say? I was quiet. because actually it's overrated. In terms of mental, in terms of civilization, in terms of in all forms of anything you can think of. You even talk about the economy of the state. Do you still have economy? Have you driven town since this emergency started? The road is practically empty. You go out by 8, 9, you don't see anybody anywhere. You have the financial institutions, you have the private sector, you have the labor union, you have the other organizations. Everybody's just quiet. Do you understand? So how do you go from? How do you start a state that cannot coordinate itself? And today it has become a state that is under a military rule in democracy. It's so sad. It's extremely so sad. Which means we don't have the capacity to even defend maybe external aggression or something, or we don't have the capacity for anything. We have countries that are not up to River State, and what's the population of Israel? Israel is about 14 million. But you dare don't throw one bomb on that country. Your body will tell you. If one knockout, you will regret it. By the time they are done with you,
they are begging them now. Everybody's begging them now.
By the time they are done with you, you will not throw stone, just knockout. By the time they are done, you will not even throw pure water inside there. You can't try it. That's a country. You understand? You must defend your state. You must defend yourself. What we have today is an issue of political aggression from the Abuja and the rest also. And then the leadership, you talk about all the people that were appointed in government, have no lack idea, nothing. If a situation where you cannot even put some things together, where you cannot be able to handle such a scenario, then is it the economic that is more sophisticated, that is global? So that is just the thing. So the way forward, if you ask me, is that Rivers people should understand that they have become an object of mockery in all forms. Mr. Maxwell, you see, when we are growing up, I'm not that old, but within the little time I saw, Trasamadi is the boiling point. If I will have some traditional rulers in Rivers State, that is the Baka, have Robinson, no Robinson, even if they bring us a military administrator, you don't do anyhow. They'll confront you. Do you understand? You don't do anyhow.
So is it the scarcity of men right now, or the people who have the capacity to challenge the status quo are not given such opportunity? Rather, we have the ones who are in charge now who everything is just for their stomach. So once there's an aggression of this nature, they just keep quiet.
That's what I'm saying. I say the recruitment process, meaning the process of electing our leaders, is where the problem is coming from. The people have become so petty and myopic and say, you lead, we follow. Do you understand? We don't scrutinize those who present themselves to leaders, not knowing the implication. When you elect a leader, means in terms of war, he ought to stand for you. In terms of economic challenge, he ought to stand for you. Right now, Nigeria is facing an economic war as a country. Ever since fuel subsidy was removed, inflation has skyrocketed. How does the government intervene in your personal life, in terms of your health, in terms of your children's education? What I mean is that now, if there were inflation of this level, meaning the drugs you used to buy for 1,000 had increased to 9,000, it's the responsibility of the government to intervene.
Immediately.
To intervene, you understand, and then declare an emergency, or, how will I put it, or, subsidize.
Just like what happened in Nyama, there's an earthquake and they declared a state of emergency immediately.
So that is right. The government has to intervene in terms of any form of challenges, economic challenge, social, any form of challenge that you face, a security challenge, the government has to intervene. So it's not an issue of somebody drag somebody and say, vote. Are you normal? It's all about your welfare and not of that person. But the person is doing it for his own interest, for his own personal interest. Is that not why the state is scattered? He's not doing it for you. You understand? You just jump up. Some of them are graduates. Some of them are PhD holders. He said, this man leader. I used to hear them speak even on this your platform. What is all this? I said, what's all this kind of nonsense? Is it I don't even have a sense, or I don't think, to assess who my leader should be? There must be some quality of a man who wants to lead.
I asked a question during the week. I said, where is Ajumogobia?
He's in Lagos. He's in Lagos.
I'm sure the name rings a bell.
Of course. He was one of our best. I remember when he went for screening in National Assembly. I was proud of him then, when he was guiding the senators how to confront him with questions. At a point, one of the senators said, man, leave this guy. This guy was good together. He came the best in everything.
So why is it that we don't, in a state like Rivers State with so much potential, we don't have such people at the pinnacle of leadership who have experience, who are exposed? I watched that man speak, and there are just a very few people in this state that I can look at and I say, I am proud to be a Rivers man.
When he was appointed as an Attorney General under Governor Peter Odele, asked judges about their welfare. You know, the guy did an advance resignation and gave to Odele. Any day, there are issues against his principle, he will leave. And asked Odele to acknowledge it before he resumes duty. These people of high integrity, people who are sound, who are intelligent, people who understand, people who their personality can market the state globally.
And that's a Rivers man.
And I said his personality can market the state globally. That this is who he is enough to attract investment. You understand what I mean? Is enough. His personality is enough to attract investment. But this character of, I don't want to call names. This character of, you say a matured man. You say they brought this one for you. Don't you have sense to assess? Can't you don't ask questions. Somebody just sit somewhere and bring somebody and say, vote. You just went ahead. It's not right. The same thing, they see somewhere right list and say, party. I say, you see, my brother, we have seen it now. We don't have a state anymore. Rivers now belongs to Nigeria, belongs to the president. Can you do this in Lagos? Even some of the Westerners, you can't even, not even in the North. You will see the backlash. You will see the consequences of your action. Do you understand? So, it's so unfortunate that I should say even the citizens are selfish. Just what I'm say, it's not just the political leader. The citizens are selfish because either they feel does not affect them directly. So they don't bother, they don't care.
Doesn't it affect them directly?
They are not the one involved.
No, but you just talked about the roads. You know, the economy is interwoven.
Do you even understand what the economy is all about?
Okay, let me give an example. A contract is given to you as an oil and gas expert. Yeah. Am I correct? To train people. Yeah. You need hands. Am I correct?
Yes.
You need media. So you say, Maxwell, I have this.
Come and take all the media coverage.
Yes. You see?
Value chain. Oh, no, I understand.
You call this person because you can't have everything.
No, I understand.
To supply this. So why would somebody say it's not affecting him directly?
See, why I say so is that people don't even understand the implication. If they understand the implication, they could not have, for any reason, queued behind one man and then said, whosoever, wherever you lead us, whether to stream or to ocean or you fall inside. That's selfishness. The consequences of selfishness is what you're saying. If the leaders are selfish and the people are not selfish because they want to become commissioner now, they want to become the abroad, that's selfishness. People are not selfish. It won't fly. It is selfishness versus selfishness.
Do you understand? Can two work together?
And that's how it works. That's why it works. Otherwise, we would not have been taking this granted by the federal government. You know, they're taking us for granted. That's it. They have tested the water and they have seen the level of mental sophistication. They have seen the level of information that the people have. They have seen the level of awareness the people have. Do you understand? They've seen that these guys, they can't even defend their rights. Do you understand? That's why they went ahead. But if when the water was tested and then there were backlashes, there were confrontation, there were press statements globally and all that, it's only a man who is exposed that can take those responsibilities. I remember when Jonathan contested, you know, there were a lot of issues then because opposition versus a ruling party. You know the steps they took. They went to SEC, gave petition, they did a lot of things that attracted global attention. Because the Westerners were more or less the pilot, people like Osibanjo. They were there. They know what to do. And then at the end of the day, the government in power was like how would I put it? Was like cage. They can't act.
So does that also justify what I just said initially in my intro that as a governor, once you enter the seat, you leave the local waters and go to the international waters.
But this state is very important in the global communities. I'm sure you know that. It's very important. Actions here can influence global market in oil price. It happened before when Niger Delta was boiling. That's why the global community have to intervene and then advise the government to bring us close.
Yes, the likes of Amampo, they all came here.
Yes, and then they brought in Jonathan to become vice president. That's when we have leaders who are informed, who understand what to do. Now you have people classified, simplified, local people who are everywhere who don't know nothing. Do you know the implication? Rivers people were not less than 5 million population. Now people live in fear in the state. Have you not noticed it? People live, nobody want to go out. People define, in fact, because what was declared there is uncalled for. There's no reason for it. There's no reason. Except for political issues. And then people sit down there and think it is right. Man, I could have a political affiliation, but that does not mean I shouldn't have a sense as a human being. Do you understand? Last time I came, I said, even my kids don't ask nonsense questions. We are meant to think. God has kept everything in this world. You have the oil, you have the gas. Your ability to think is what makes you different from the other. The difference between other smaller countries like Netherlands, who are higher than Nigeria in all ramifications, is the ability to think. How can we live a life that we do not think? Do you understand? If you don't think, then we are not in existence.
For the youth, is it as a result of the fact that they've been deprived quality education?
Well, it could be part of it, because, education, one, you go to school, pass through your educational curriculum is one. The other one, you have to build yourself. This ICT age, this internet age has made things to be very easy. Now, you should be able to develop your thinking. Sometimes when you see when youth argue, you just feel somehow. The kind of thing that comes out of their mouths, you begin to wonder. Do you understand? So the quality of thinking, the quality of knowledge is reducing. People no longer read this time around. 247 children are with phone, watching these comedians on phone, stories that do not add value to them. Do you understand? So there is need for us to take a shift from this. And I want to appeal to Rivers elites. There are people who are in the private sector like us. There are people who are in the traditional institutions. There are people who are in the educational sector, academia. If it is to convoke a forum, a body together, to bring the soul and the body of Rivers State together, take away ethnicity and the rest of them, and then come together like we used to have in the traditional institutions, where the king of Tai is very close to the king of Oberland and all that. They discuss issues of their state, and then they come together, go straight to the president, and they tell the president what is happening in our state. We are not comfortable with it. You have people who were former deputy governors there, people who are like my king who was then, very influential leaders at the traditional level, who does not see the president as God. We are not comfortable, Mr. President. You are the political leader of this country. The issue between these two children, we are not comfortable the way you are handling it. Would it have gotten to this point? It couldn't. It could never have gotten to this point. Do you understand?
So they were divided along political lines?
They don't have the substance. The good ones they are no longer there. That's the truth. The ones we have now, they don't have that courage. You understand? But even if you don't have, just like you have said, the moment you are sent to a throne, you build yourself to that. They ought to have built themselves to that. They need to hold press conferences. Do you understand? They need to let the world know, because whatever happened, they themselves, that the local leadership bears the brunt. If it gets to a point where government no longer exists, if any crisis triggers to the point where the youth goes on rampage, can they stay in their kingdom? It is not possible. Do you understand? Now, let's even assume that the constitution does not give them any official role, but the constitution recognizes that there are communities, local communities, that will be head by their kings and traditional rulers, just like you have MS. The constitution has that. Do you understand? So the fact that you're not an elected officer, probably you're not a governor, you're not this thing, you are the primary leadership. You understand? Of the people, and then you bear it more. That is it. Because some people that are in township, some of your citizens that are in Lagos and all that, some of them are dual citizens. But those ones in the community will bear the consequences more. Do you get? And so you take up that responsibility and then confront powers, confront authorities, express your feelings, take charge. Do you understand? This is so. It's really unfortunate. Now you look at River State, just like you have said. What is the way forward? We cannot be talking about the issues of our economy when the state is in this shambles. Because it's like when a man has been kidnapped, the first thing you're looking for is freedom. River State is like a cage state. Do you understand? All River State, first and foremost need now is this emancipation, freedom from political slavery. Do you know what I mean by political slavery? People kill themselves. This idea of people gather and kill themselves to one person. You don't have liberty. You understand? The party, the political system, even the party has no liberty. Anybody who emerges as the leader of the party dictates everything. In all the parties, you talk about PDP, talk about APC, anybody who emerges the leader dictates. So that is slavery. So nobody say anything. In fact, sometimes they make lists. Going to field is ceremonial. And then it's in a such scenario, you can't get the best, not to talk about the economy of the state, and this is why we are where we are today.
Let's take some calls. Join the conversation. What is the way forward talking about the economy of the state? Do we have the right people who are leading us? I just called a name, Ajumogobia, and I asked where he is. Probably he's doing his private practice. He's one of the people I can listen to. As in, I can spend my time. I don't listen to all nonsense. I can spend my time.
I told you, I watched it screening when he was Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Yes, I can stay and listen to him precept upon precept.
Lawyers and judges during his time as an Attorney General of the state. Rivers State rose to prime. Honestly,
I think he's one of the best foreign ministers we've ever had.
Of course, during his time.
Not these ones that once something happened, their own is to disclaim what US is saying, say it's not true. It's not true. Good morning.
Marvel, good morning.
Go ahead.
If you ask me if we have the right people, I will tell you no, we don't have the right people. Both state, local government, and federal. What we have is people with self-interest. They are just there to loot our treasury for their own personal gain. Like the case we have in Rivers State, the people with the federal might. Do you know that with the influence they have, if they use us very influence to attract federal presence into this state, like the Onel Free Trade Zone, which has not been functional for years now. They told us that it's functioning, but I can tell you that it's not functional. I can recall the days of Goodluck Jonathan, how that Onel Road used to be. So they are not using their position to the advantage or the common interest of the common man. They are just there. Like
Thank
the
you.
doctor we are talking about.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
To carry people along and in return get
all right.
something
Thank
back
you.
from
Thank
them.
you. Thank you. We have to go. Make it short. Good morning, sir. Rivers people are talking in a situation whereby your own people are sabotaging you. It's difficult to win a war. Some Rivers people are jubilating the situation. So what do we do? All right. Eliosu. Thank you. AB. I can't take your message. It's not nice. Yes, good morning.
Yeah, Matt, Mr. Zion.
Mr. Zion, go ahead.
So the guests in the studio, welcome and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
The concentration is high, but the truth is this. When the good ones or the ones you felt have the capacity keep quiet, what do you expect the others to do? That is the problem we have here. The ones you felt that should come out and speak to defend River State, go and check most of them. They can't even come out. They can't even contest election even in their compound. They don't do that. Do we force them out? I want to ask you, sir, what is the offense of Ambody? Because he allowed the largest vote who cannot dock in Lagos to come and dock here in River State. You remember that story? That the largest ship came to Africa and it came to dock in River State. Are you not aware of that story? That is the offense. Like your guest said something, we would have challenged the status quo. But who will challenge the status quo in their money? If they come for an all of us no go run, are you aware that a lot of people that are supporting sin, who stood for sin, most of them are in prison, and nobody knows, nobody cares. Now them and their family, they suffer them. Are you aware? They arrested them in Rivers and they took them to Abuja. Until we start to challenge this status quo, it happened to Mr. A. BC will stand up and say, look, we must defend our country. For now, until the good ones rise up. I told you one time in your studio, graduates confronted me that, look, Oga, if you don't give us money, we'll not go vote for you. What do you think that entails? So if the mediocre give them money, they will vote for the mediocre. Ask your INEC. your court. What is the problem? You were here when the president said, I know the majority of you did not vote for me. Then what did he do?
Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
Before we accuse the people, let us look inward. What are we not doing? In our homes, thank God for the brother. Let us have this conscientization from our bedroom to the street and we'll get it right. Mr. Zion.
Thank you very much. Join the conversation, send in your messages, getting the economy right on track. But you can't get the economy right without political emancipation, where we have freedom to follow sensible people. So does it mean, like he said, my guest said, someone just comes out, say, hey, yo. The question is, what is he saying? Economic-wise, social-wise, health-wise? He's not saying anything. He's just doing, hey, yo. No be so, na so. No be so, na so. And then you follow. What is no be so? In the world now, where if, for instance, even as a friend, if you're not adding value to me, forget it. There are no. It's either you're contributing to my social life, financial life, spiritual life, my broadcast life. If you are not contributing anything to me, forget it. I'd rather make friend with an illiterate, in quote, that has not gone to school, that is contributing one way or the other into my life, than to make friend with someone who is a graduate PhD holder, who all he knows is we lead, we follow. What are you following? Like my guest said. So without political emancipation, how do you grow the economy? Now, as a governor, you have all the powers to go to the international waters. The question is, why is it that all the governors we've had, everything has always been local, and then prior to the end of their second term, they aspire to be president. And then they spend rivers money on that bid. It has happened from the first one to the second one to the third one. If maybe we had a sail through now, I don't know if Governor Sino, after 8 years, will want to be president. Why is it always so? Why are they not thinking about the economy first? Why can't I see a governor who will live here? And I see him in Holland talking with the president or prime minister of Holland. I see him in India looking for a way to ship in information technology, because when you talk about IT, India is the best for now. China is coming up, but when it comes to manufacturing, you go to China. So these countries have... So I want to see a governor that will go to India, ship IT down here, say, okay, we are sending 10,000 of our youth to India to come and learn. You do an MOU with the Indian government. They train your people in all areas, and then they come back. You go to the best country that is into health. You send the new doctors who are just coming out of medical school down there in different areas, neurosurgery. Why can't we have such a governor? Other than this, whoa. Yes, good morning. Yes, go ahead.
Well into Marcel.
Go ahead.
Marcel, let me say that we can have, and we have one already, trying to do better, as you have said. Marcel, let me take you go back. I believe in him. Marcel, I could remember when you were shouting that the governor should do this. You know, this time the governor responds. When I give the governor a listening governor, I call the governor a listening governor. The governor will have to do it. It's a governor that to do for it. He has said it over and over again. We lack the capacity. We lack the charisma to understand that leadership is built for the people. Which I have to do, you must have the work to take decisive. And I believe that was the same one, and the governor is that's what you say now. I don't want to more. Let's put and see better than.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Mr. Maxwell Atago, where do we go from here? In 2027
Maxwell,
and in 2031?
I'm so worried that I found myself in this generation, honestly. And I'm so concerned about it because I'm someone that if I do something with you, and you want to prove to me that I don't know what I'm doing or I'm not intelligent. The way I will strike you will never believe it. Do you understand? I will never sleep over it. I will think. I love thinking. And then by the time I spend 2-3 hours thinking, I'll provide solutions. And then by the time I shock you, you will say, I never knew he was like that. I love challenges. Let me put it so. The state has a lot of challenges right now. Our citizens are hungry. People are saying, which governor do you have? People are suffering in this state. People are suffering. I mean, people are really suffering. I don't know whether it happens to you. People not calling you for money?
No, they meet me every day on the road. No, they do.
I'm talking about relation people that I know,
yes.
people who are young, who can walk.
Even on the road.
Of course. People. We have families here. And how they even survive, I don't even know. How will you live a life? You wake in the morning, you don't have any agenda. Do you understand? There's nothing to do. How can River State be a state with the highest rate of unemployment? And then somebody saying we have leadership? There's no leadership at any level. Do you understand? And I want to appeal to the citizens of River State to know that life, that ceremony you do called election, determine your life for the next 4 years. Determine your urgent 5K and urgent 2K for the next 4-5 years. That decision you take that day is crucial. It's very important to your welfare, that of your children, born and unborn, to your future, your employment, and everything. So it is important that you go and seek for those who have, just like you mentioned, go and seek for those who have what it takes.
I know the reason why I keep on mentioning that name.
Of course, you cannot, in your private organization, you can't employ a dummy because you must want your organization to grow. You must want your business to grow. Do you understand? You must want to make profit. As Rivers people, what is our profit? State of emergency. What is our profit? Disaster, confusion. What is our profit? A lot of investment have left this state. You can imagine a firm that is as big as Shell has left. Total has left. These are multinationals bringing local players to come into the arena. What would they have to offer in terms of technology? Oil technology, we are nowhere. In terms of
it's
funding,
not as though we have even trained before.
Yeah, do we even have the technology? Well, imported in Germany or US. Do you understand? Now we don't have the technology. We don't even have the funding. Our banks don't have the money to fund these things. So you struggle.
No, but Zenith Bank said they got 1.3 trillion in 2024 as profit.
That much was the value in dollar. In the energy sector, we're not talking about naira now. We're talking about
in the
dollar.
midst of paying 50,000 to their staff. So
it's just imagine
that's another thing. No?
Those ones are another fraud. Sometimes you get debit that you don't know where the reason for those.
No, that's your money is part of the 1.3 trillion.
What impact have they made? What investment? Which area have they invested? Is it in industry? Is it in energy that warrant you making that profit apart from fraud? Do you understand? And sharp practices. Didn't you watch a video of a man where if 500 million disappeared in the bank?
Yes.
Didn't you see it?
Yes.
500 million, 50. So, my brother.
Very funny people.
Everybody, the criminals has taken over the system. And then people must stand. I want to appeal to reverse people. You people should lead and follow. It's a killer. It's not, you know, when you prepare poison and take poison by yourself. That is right. Political leadership is important to the economic welfare of the state. Very, very important. Anybody who wants to lead us should prepare manifesto. He should come and tell us his vision for health. He should come and tell us his vision for education. He should come and tell us his vision for industrialization. How did he intend to achieve this? This is what we want to hear. So that the moment you come on board, you set your team, and then we watch you. At the end of every quarter, you tell us, this is what I said, and this is what I achieved. If we talk about road, my 10-year-old child can sign contract for road. Then let us elect him as a governor. If it is road and salary, what do you have anything to think about road and salary?
I told them yesterday I can stay here and pay the salary of civil servants in River State. All this one, they say I approve this, I approve this. They are software, just do pam, 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 and everybody receives salary. Thank you very much, Maxwell Akago, CEO, Flamingos Energy Services and Innovation Limited. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We appreciate you. I hope that Rivers youth will learn. You know, when even Governor Singh was in charge, I'm one of the journalists that, if I wouldn't say I attack him, but I criticize him every day. I say, Oga, show me. I am not a daft. Show me your plans in health, your plans for ICT, your plans for this, your plan. People say, no, leave him. He's a peaceful governor. I say, no, that's not what we're talking about. But anyway, thank you for coming. Stay with us for the Lord today.
Today 95. 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Lord Sky on the beat.
And fire, set down your fire for a minute. Make God of Elijah, sweetest taboo. Yeah, baby, let's up for a minute. Then I eat your small chops for a minute, and I won't pause for a minute. Sweetest taboo. Yeah, baby, let's up for a minute. Then I eat your small chops for a minute, and I won't. She said, girl, you know, if you like say you got me. Oh, she said, yeah, she said, if you like say you do me. Oh, she said, yeah, man, I'm on my way. She said, I'm on my way. She's coming. My desire to give you all you require. My supplier of happiness, you're my fire. My shady nanga, when me my right or die. Carry me, baby, come closer. My shady coco, let me see you drop your low. Hapo uliponifikisha ndo kileleni, na wasije kunitenganisha na wewe mpenzi. Kwa wema umesifika nje na ndani, tabibu wa moyo wangu we daktari. She said, girl, you know, if you like say you got me. She said, yeah, she said, if you like say you do me. She said, I'm on my way. She said, I'm on my way. She's coming. You won't capture my soul. I'm again, no be so. Make you one more. Better, bye. I'm loose. Even better done the para. Tonight in Josie, I'm in Josie. Won't call it for one Josie. I'm not playing with you, I'm not joking. My thought of mom is loaded. Me, you can flag up, but I'm on board. I'm on duty, but I'm on low key. They want do me. They want do me, but they want do me. When you won't want me, when you won't
I'm not in a rush. I can hear music in your ear. Tonight we're rolling, party till closing. Since I put the ring on the finger that's still frozen, love in slow motion. I wanna feel you over me, yeah. Certain magic in your eyes, yeah. Girl, I love the way you ride it, and it happens every time you arrive. That's right. Girl, I want you in my life, yeah. There's a heaven and it's right, yeah. I will never leave your side, yeah. Tonight. When you won't see me, I'm in West London this evening, giving me the feelings. No, I'm not leaving till I fly LA next weekend. Better now, girl, I'd rather go find somewhere quiet. You glow, and I get lost here in your eyes. I'ma gain all my soul, girl, you just capture my soul. I'ma gain all my soul, make me wanna just take you home. Yeah, bye.
Tune in for a journey beyond the ordinary.
Fasten your seatbelt.
We're not just a station.
We are the station.
Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
You may not realize it, but do you know you can always show your love for others with simple gestures? Here are some of them. Always look for the good in people. There are two sides to every story. We have our good and bad sides. So, look for the good in people. Focus on people's potential. Everyone has potential. So, rather than put them down, help them realize it. Choose to love. If you're given an option between giving love and receiving love, choose giving because that is a more practical choice. Treat everyone as equals. This means letting go of all the prejudice and partiality. See people for who they really are, not their jobs, not their apparels or bank accounts. If everyone does this, then the world will be a better place. Love yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. So, before you try to love other people, love yourself first. Forgive. We all make mistakes. So, whether it's a family or a stranger, the best way of showing love is forgiveness. Everyone deserves a second chance. Show compassion. Care for other people. Care for what they are going through. Do what you can to help. Give back to the community. Remember that a single drop of water can cause countless ripples. That donation, no matter how small, can inspire others to do the same. Smile, even to strangers. Remember that you're never fully dressed without a smile. So, do not underestimate the power of a smile. Not only does it lighten up your face, it will also brighten up another person's day. Be the spark of positivity you want to see. When you smile, the whole world smiles with you. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
What's a successful business without sales? And what is sales without an audience? Well, do you know that you can reach 8 million listeners across 6 states in 2 geopolitical zones all at once? How? With Today 95.1 FM, you can get millions of people to know about your business. And what does that mean to you? More sales. Call 081 389 2850 now for more information.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Law Today on Today 95.1 FM. So, we'll be looking at family law. Yes. Why do we have the prevalence of divorce here and there? If you want to divorce, on what circumstances should you divorce? Why should you even divorce in the first place? But if you must divorce, on what circumstances can you divorce your wife or your husband? Why do we have the prevalence of divorce in our society? It wasn't like this before now. You know what I'm talking about. These days now, every small thing, I want to divorce. Your husband, no, if he give you is unable to give you a certain amount of money, you want to divorce. You didn't buy wrapper for you, you want to divorce. These are the questions. Are you on the verge of divorcing your wife or your husband? And probably you don't know the procedure. If people are divorced, can there still be some sort of romantic relationship between them? For instance, a husband and wife that has divorced. Can they still have any form of affair, even as divorced individuals? These are issues we're going to be looking at. Stay with us and don't go anywhere. All right. We have Barrister Jamala joining us on the program. Barrister Jamala, good to have you on the show.
Good morning, Maxwell.
Thank you for last week. For saving us. You know, these days now, everybody's a lawyer. And even when there are things that ordinarily is in black and white, people still say, oh, let's go for judicial interpretation. Because I feel the reason why the Constitution was made open is not a secret court, it's not a secret document, it's for everybody to be able to at least read, have a fair knowledge, in as much as you can read and write. There are some things that do not need judicial interpretation. Am I correct?
Very well.
In the Constitution.
Very well.
For instance, don't discriminate against anybody. Do you need judicial, interpretation for that?
What is discrimination in the first place?
You look for the word in the dictionary.
Okay, then if the circumstances that you find yourself, the meaning in the dictionary applies, then no problem. But if it doesn't apply, you need judicial interpretation.
Okay.
if two of your siblings or two of your what they call it, cousins or uncle, nephews are staying with you, and you decide to give one 2 portions of snail and give the other one, are you discriminatory in the circumstance?
It depends.
It depends.
Who is the eldest? We also have our culture also play a major role in all this. We respect seniority. First son, the one following, there's no way you give them something equal.
So those are the defenses you bring, assuming the one you gave one decide to sue you to court for discriminatory actions. Good morning, and thank you.
Thank you for joining. So we'll look at family law, processes for divorce. Why are people even divorcing? Why do we have it prevalent in our society these days? Before it was an Oibo thing. Now it is like an everyday affair.
Yeah.
Why are you divorcing him? He's a 1-minute man. Is that what you want to do? There's a recent one now. The woman said the man makes love from midnight till dawn. That's why she wants to. So someone said another man's meat is another man's. Say, some people are complaining that their man is a 1-minute man. Your own is a 4 hours man. You are now complaining.
What about the women?
No, it's the woman that is complaining.
You've not seen where the men are complaining about the women being. Let's not go there.
Okay.
Okay, I think it is better we begin by knowing what family law is all about. Family law is rooted in marriage, and to an extent, when it comes to estates, that is when someone dies, either intestate or testate, sharing of properties. Let me use that commonest word so that we'll be able to understand. So that's what basically family law does about. Now, how do we contract marriage? Marriage is contractual in nature. Whether it is our customary understanding that we do not have that knowledge that marriage is contractual. For that of the English that we have somehow accepted hook, line, and sinker, it is purely contractual. Okay. So there must be certain things that will exist for you to enter into those contracts. There's a general principle of factors that negate the contracts. Those things also applies in marriage, but to every general rule, there is always an exception to it. And so having said that, in our traditional, what we call marriage is, it has a procedure to follow from introduction, knocking of door, depending on the locality, collecting of list, giving someone transport to go and bring list. Why you laugh? It's like you paid that one. Buying of motorcycle for mother-in-law, buying of keke for father-in-law. All those things have been imported into our traditional culture, because I wonder those who initiated that process. At their time, there was never a keke napep. At their time, there was never ladies' bike. At their time, there were just snaps and maybe dress the father.
You've not talked about the brands of beer.
No. Those ones are part of. We now say they are part of, and then cigar, football for the younger ones, whatever sort for the women of the community. All those. Once you fulfill those requirements, and you have not paid the dowry, you are not yet married, though. The dowry is the principal thing in traditional marriage. The celebration can come at any time. But once you have identified the parents, they have accepted, because in African culture, consent is very, very important. Consent of the parents is very, very important. But we will later find out that in the English one, I will call what we call court marriage, we'll call the consent of parents is not a limiting factor. Once the both parties have adult, they consent to what they want to enter into, the contract they want to enter into. To them, it's okay. They have one or two witnesses to witness that celebration. It's done. But for us, we need the consent of our parents, and therefore we have all these lists. Once you are done with that, and you've paid dowry, a marriage is said to have been contracted in that nature. And so if you marry in the traditional setting alone, anything that has to do with the marriage right up till the death of either party is governed by the culture of that place. Okay. It's not governed by the English law. Those who find themselves, after traditional marriage, you see themselves going to either the registry to conduct what we now call court marriage. Now, once you have done that, and you suspend that to approach the English way of marriage, you're now saying, my marriage will be bounded by the rules of the Marriage Act. In other words, the English law. There are two principal laws governing English marriage: the Matrimonial Causes Act and the Marriage Act. For everything that you want to do, whether from marriage to divorce, to sharing of whatever, even when divorce is covered for under the Act. Okay. And so your marriage is basically governed by the rules as applicable in England. And that is why we are now having divorce petitions filed in court. Ordinarily, in the traditional setting, if you're married and you want to divorce, in my own side, they will say the woman will return the dowry. So therefore, is leaving the man. The man, if you don't want the dowry, can also return the woman. If payment of that dowry will become a problem to make the woman stay long in your own house, you can forfeit the dowry. Okay. And just traditionally, you are done with her.
Okay, but there are things they will do now.
Traditionally, it depends on. It depends on
sand, touch.
I don't know. It varies. I say, like in my place. Okay. The mere return of dowry, if a woman puts hand into her purse and brings how much did you pay? It was 30 naira. Not the celebration. No matter how much you spent in doing celebration, it's not relevant. It is the dowry the father said, this is what you are paying as dowry. is the one she's entitled to return. Peradventure, she wants to go. And if you say, no, I'm done, you want to return, ask them to return your dowry, it is that amount they will return. Now, but for the English law, it's not like that. Once you have married under the Act, the procedure for us to have our ways separate is covered for under the Act. Now, as a general rule, if you marry under the Act, as a general rule, within 2 years of that marriage, your marriage ordinarily should not be set aside unless there are mitigating factors. In other words, as at the point of marriage, where there are certain things that were hidden, something like misrepresentation, maybe the age of the girl or the man, none of them was up to age, the principle of if there any small relationship between you and the other spouse, consanguinity and affinity, is there something related to that? If it is, then that marriage from the beginning is void. There are marriages we call valid, void, and voidable. Okay. Those who are valid are from the beginning, from the onset, they fulfilled all requirements. They have passed through all the procedures, and there is no inhibiting factor preventing them from getting married. Those ones are valid. The ones that are void, there are marriages that from the beginning, maybe I misrepresented myself to the lady to say, I'm aware she likes people from famous family. So now I presented to myself to her as the son of Tinubu. I've been acting and been making calls, behaving, living my life as though, yes, I am from that family. And she believed me into marrying the son of Tinubu, only to find out that I just a child of a peasant farmer somewhere who has been misrepresenting himself around her. Is a grant.
Okay, for the boss.
Yes, it's a serious grant that marriage from ab initio was never valid because it was built on misrepresentation. Now, are there issues of assuming the girl is not of age, and it was hidden to either the man's side or because maybe the family wanted to, and all of a sudden the man found out that the lady is not of age.
Okay.
And because of her maybe childish nature, the guy no longer can't. Can you hide under that cloak to say, yes, I married a minor in this circumstance? Then the ones that are avoidable, in the beginning, it does appear everything was perfectly okay. But unknown to them that there was a mitigating factor somewhere that they never advert their mind to. So these are the 3 V's in marriage. Now, I've given you the general rule as to for the first 2 years in marriage, generally, that marriage ought not to be set aside or be a decree nicely dissolving, ordinarily ought not to be given. But like I said, to every general rule, there is an exception. And so the conditions upon which you can lay an action, a petition in court to ask for a divorce, assuming, 1, adultery.
Okay.
Adultery is number 1. Number 2, desertion. That is where the person deserted the family.
Okay, just run away.
Yes, run away for a period of at least 2 years. Number 3, cruelty. We all know what cruelty is all about. Number 4, we talk about incurable infirmity, or that is insanity. Then the one that most times affects us now is the failure or inability to consummate the marriage. Now, these are the 5 basic grounds you can come up to ask for a separation. In any of these, within the first 2 years of the marriage, it's pardonable. But if your reasons for a divorce is outside these first 5, within the first 2 years, it's going to be a Herculean tax for you to prove it. Now, what is adultery? We all know adultery now. A man, under the English law, one man is entitled to one wife, so long as you're married under the English law. If you do otherwise, it's bigamy and it's an offense. It's a criminal offense. And most of us don't know. But what the English law talked about is it possible to marry and have some consignment somewhere?
Like side chick.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about consignments.
No, we're using the normal language that everybody understands now. Side chick, side bubble.
Okay, if that's what you put it. That is where adultery comes in. So if you're married and you are somehow involved in adulterous acts, and the respondent, the person who is married to you, can prove.
Okay.
It's not all about alleging.
Okay, the person has to prove.
The person has to prove. Now, it is not that I talk to this particular person, always calls me midnight.
Okay.
That will form what we call adultery in the circumstance. The court have held in several cases, and that you must actually see them committing the act.
Oh.
You must actually see them committing the act.
How possible is that?
I don't know. If you are interested in pushing for that, then you can do so. But for me, there are several ways if you want to even catch someone. Have you been watching on that person's activities? There are other things but while engaging that engagement in that long procedure, if you actually do not want to stay in the marriage, because if you're looking for a grant for divorce, yes, adultery is one of it. There are other reasons for divorce. So once you can prove to the court that, yes, my spouse has been engaging in adulterous activities and is cogent enough for the court to believe, is a ground. Now, in one of our days, I asked a question. Pregnancy is a conclusive proof that this person has committed sexual intercourse. Generally, used to be a conclusive proof that this person has committed adultery, right? Or has had intercourse. Now, is it true at the present state now that once a lady is pregnant, then it is general belief or conclusive evidence that she must have had intercourse somewhere?
No, she might have done IVF.
Fine.
Might be.
Fine. So it might be a surrogate.
Surrogate, yes.
It might be through IVF.
Yes.
And these two procedures not involve sexual intercourse. Now, the pregnancy of a woman that passes through surrogacy, is that an adulterous act? Now, these are modern trends that we are questioning the law as it was reasoned in those days, that it must be through an intercourse. For us to prove adultery, you must show that they actually committed the act. Now, if a married woman accepts a contract of surrogacy somewhere, and the procedure is concluded, and all of a sudden the husband starts noticing the protruding tummy of the wife.
Why would she do that without the consent of the husband?
There are circumstances, assuming we are thinking aloud.
No, but the general rule is that there's no way you won't tell. Yes, it's a good thing you want to help a particular couple. Maybe money is involved, maybe money is not involved.
It's money that is involved.
Sometimes too, you can do it for your sister. Although you will sign that, yes, I am consenting to this,
I heard you say that last week.
Yes, I work with a fertility doctor.
Okay.
So, so I asked him, one of those days, I said, what if the sister wants to? He say, yes, they must sign. There must be a contract. So that tomorrow, say, if not be me, and if I no get picking, and all that, and to avoid any issue involving the hospital also. So whether the person is a sister or the mother, you must sign. Then the money issue, it depends. There are people who donate their egg to people. They donate their egg free of charge. They don't collect money. They see a couple that is having issues. They say, please, but you must also sign that I am willingly, so that tomorrow you not say they drugged you and collected the egg. You must also sign that, yes, I'm willingly doing this. Some donate their sperm also. Some too agree to carry a baby for their sister.
And some too sell their own sperm.
Some sell, yes.
Fine.
And
now, we are not looking at those. We are looking at a woman who is willing to do it.
Okay.
Now, the circumstance whether he informed the spouse as the husband or not, assuming the woman did not inform the spouse.
Okay.
and the husband sees her tummy every day, in fact, showing the signs of pregnancy, is that a ground for the man to sue her for adulterous activities?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
And remember, we have tried to look at what adultery is all about for you to prove.
Okay, I'm looking at, this is the husband. Probably the argument will be that the husband was not in the know. Because as your husband, you're supposed to inform me that you are doing this kind of thing. You are married to me. I paid your bride price. So if you went ahead to do such a thing without my notice...
I don't want us to engage into the argument of you are married to me, I paid your bride price, and therefore the woman ordinarily is seen to be subservient.
Okay, you're looking at the law.
I'm looking at the law. We're here to discuss the law, not to discuss our custom.
Okay.
So in that circumstance, can the woman be held to have committed adultery? That is what the law going forward will look into. To redefine what adultery is all about. There has always been this debate whether if a man can be raped, whether a man can be raped. The definition of rape does not include sexual harassment of a man, because a man cannot be penetrated. And rape is defined upon complete penetration. But we have seen in situations where men are being abused by ladies. Some maids abusing the child they are taking care of at home. If a man does that to a woman, there is a name. But if a woman, what about those men, secondary school girls who gang rape men on the road? Can you say that is rape? That is not the definition of rape. So that's a story.
What do you call that?
That is a story for another day.
So a man that has been abused at that level, you say it's not rape?
You cannot say
so what do you call it?
You cannot say you are being raped by a girl. You can say you have been sexually abused.
Okay, sexually abused.
You cannot say you have been raped by a girl or
then
a lady.
Then the law needs to be upgraded.
That is the point we are making.
The law needs to be upgraded.
In this area, the law needs to be tinkered upon to reflect modern realities. That yes, in the 19th, 18th century, when these rules were made, the state of the society is now different from the 21st century society. And therefore, we must need to tinker them to reflect the present-day reality. So we have looked at adultery. The next one is cruelty. Now, there are certain actions a couple, a party, or a partner will display in the house, portray in the house. It will look that the man or the woman is no longer within the realm of humanhood. That's entered what they call bestiality, beast. When you begin to portray the characteristics of a beast, it is therefore enough to conclude that a reasonable man or woman in the circumstance will not be able to live with you. And most times you see the person's life also is in danger, because a man who acts like an animal or a woman who acts like an animal, you cannot predict the next actions. So when these grounds you establish that yes, the man's activities are more or less that of a beast. Is he violent at home? There are certain things he has been doing they are life-threatening. Once these are shown, within the first 2 years that the law generally say the marriage cannot be separated, the court, if the court is convinced, the court will do so. Then too, incurable insanity. We need not overemphasize on this, because we know what incurable insanity is. Yes, some may decide to seek help by staying and taking care of the person. Others will say, no, when we sign the contract, we're in hale and hearty. I cannot spend my own life trying to do this. Different minds exist. Then the fourth one that talks about inability to consummate the marriage is exactly what is mostly within our court. If you go to a courtroom and there are 18 matters on the court list, you will see either 4 or 5 of them are petitions relating from marriage issues. And the funniest thing is that they are very young couples who, some of them they've not celebrated 1 year in marriage. Some within 6 months. Then these things are happening. What is the problem? Inability to consummate the marriage is a very serious ground within which the court can agree. We know what consummate.
Let's break it down.
To consummate.
Barrister. Let's break it down.
You know, to consummate the marriage simply means where you marry your wife, or the wife is married to you or a man, and the man is unable to perform the actions of the...
Unable or refuses?
Unable. If he refuses at the first instance, refuses at the second instance, refuses also at the third instance, then you question whether this man is actually a man.
Okay, unable in the sense that probably he has health issues.
Issues that he has not disclosed.
Okay.
Those are the reasons why you see some persons behave Pope-like when they are not.
Some of them probably prefer to go to all this Baba Ijebu and co. But anyway, that's just by the side.
So since you know so many things about Baba Ijebu, so if you can tell us. So once you have shown that, yes, I've married to her for the past how many, but she has refused intercourse with me, sexual advances, she has refused it. And you can also establish it in court. It's a grant for a divorce.
How do you establish that one? What proof are you... Because it's just two of you inside. So how do you prove to the court? Because what if she now says...
Have you faced that situation before?
No. I've not faced it.
So if you have faced that situation before, or if you have an idea of someone that has faced it, you know that sometimes it starts in the closed doors.
No, barrister, sorry.
But later comes out in the public.
What I'm looking at is the court will say you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt.
Yes.
Sometimes you do videos and all that, or maybe conversations. But in this case, these are two people, man and woman, and the woman has disallowed him, or the man has, been adamant, I know they do, and all that. How will the man or the woman prove to the court that for the past 6 months, we never do? I'm looking at what kind of evidence are you going to present?
I will.
What if the other party say, no, would they do? No, you'll just be saying, no, be every time. How do you now prove beyond reasonable doubt, even when you know that this party is lying?
Maxwell, for those who have faced that situation, they have one or two persons they confide in.
Okay.
Sometimes even the parents of the party are involved. They're aware of all these things.
Okay.
And assuming nobody knows between the both of you, yes, if your story is strong enough to the extent of convincing, because it's going to be my words against your own words. And if I say, no, it has not been happening, and you say, no, it has been happening, how often?
Because
can you recollect the last time?
Because in that case, I don't know if there's any... if you say, you didn't impregnate someone, and the parents say you impregnate, they can do DNA tests, all manner of tests to determine. But in this case, there's no test for it.
They can. If you want to, you can conduct. When someone is unlawfully penetrated, they conduct tests for it. They can. If you have not approached that arena and you conduct a sample.
I will ask Doc.
And if you act at the samples...
When was the last time a spermatozoa entered the woman?
Yes.
Or not? Okay, I'll ask him.
There are. Maybe we have some of our private hospitals advanced to that extent. There are. And once you can prove that, it's also a grant for divorce. Then there is a mistake we always make. Some persons, you see them, they marry in a church. Then they want to, some persons will say, want to proceed into doing the registry marriage. Now, the English, the Marriage Act gave some places approvals to conduct marriage on behalf of the Minister of Interior, who is in charge of that ministry.
Okay.
Now, we have them in the various local government headquarters, head offices. We have in Port Harcourt here, we have it also at the Federal Secretariat, where we have a Ministry of Interior marriage registry. They also have, they also conduct those things there. Now, there are churches duly licensed to conduct these marriages on behalf of the state government. So if you marry in that one of those recognized licensed churches, then you need not go to the registry again.
Okay, the certificate stands.
Yes, the certificate that ordinarily that would have been issued to you at the registry is a certificate that your own church will issue to you. All you need to do is, during the procedural level, they will ask you, go and obtain form so and so. That is notice of publication.
Because that's what the registry usually does.
Yes. Once you obtain that form at any of the offices that you want to go, that suffice. All other procedures, you conclude it with the church, and once that is done, they sign their own column that they're supposed to, and issue you sign your own column. That is final proof that you have conducted your marriage within the English law. If you want to go to the system to update it, to upload it, to activate it, in other words, for everywhere that you find yourself, once the marriage number is inserted, it will show that, yes, you actually conducted a marriage with that. You can proceed with that. But there are churches that conduct marriages that are not licensed. They give you one yellow certificate somewhere they did from a business center bearing the name of the church. That is not to say that you are married under the English law. What you did was a mere celebration of marriage, or at best we can call it a Thanksgiving you did in
your church.
In your church. That is if your church is not licensed. But if your church is licensed, please, once they have given you that green mixed with white certificate, long certificate, it is enough. Okay. Don't labor yourself going to say, I'm going to, yes. And sometimes it gets embarrassing that you get there, they will ask you, where did you conduct your marriage? You say so and so. The certificate they gave you, where do you do you have it here? You say yes. Can we have it? You now show, they say, but this is the same thing that we are going to give you your marriage.
The issue here is information.
Yes, it's information. Information is very lacking on areas of marriage in Nigeria. That information is lacking. Things to do, things not to do, things to do even when you are inside it. We're not aware of it. So I have said, if you start your marriage journey with the traditional level and you have now proceed to the English level, the customary laws of that your place will not affect your marriage. It is the English law that will affect your marriage. And if you marry under the custom, you say you don't marry in the English law, then it is the custom that will govern your marriage up to the point of death. How you share properties when the head of the man is not there. The father's room, is it supposed to be for the first son? Is it something that the first son can sell at any time? The house the father lived, is it the house that he can sell, or when he's gone, the second son in that category takes over the property? That is culture by culture. But for the English law, the laws that govern marriage in America is still the law that governs us here in River State.
Okay. Let's take some calls. Feel free to ask questions, join the conversation. We're looking at family law. If you want to divorce, of course, the lawyer, Barrister Jamala, has been able to elucidate those processes, things that probably you can look at. It is also within your purview to decide to live with it. But if you don't want to live with it, you can proceed. Like he said, once you're done with traditional whatever, and you don't want to go for the English marriage, the customary law, of course, subsides there. Whatever you're doing is within that limit. But if you have proceeded to do the English marriage, then the English marriage takes precedence. Max, I divorced my ex because the relationship was toxic, constant threat to my health, life coupled with battery. I got separated first for 3 months and filed for a divorce. I'm happy I took that step, and I'm alive to tell my story than allow people cook up disappointed stories about me. Dr. Quinn, thank you, Dr. Quinn. But I also ask, Sorry. Did you also, probably while dating, see all this? You know, we'll talk about, what do you call it, red flags. You just told us if you see 20 caught this thing, 4 or 5 thereabout, you know, will be for divorce. And these are young couples. Is it that when they were courting or dating, they didn't see all these red flags? Unlike before, our mothers and our fathers, when they were married.
You have always have a family, what they call her, consultant. That woman that always comes here on
family counselor.
Family counselor, yes, comes up. I think she will be in the best place to answer that question.
Okay. Joel, are you running away from?
I'm not. No. I'm not running away to the extent that I am aware some of the reasons that we are having these so-called divorce cases, especially from the youth.
But you are also a counselor now. You're a lawyer. Don't they come to you?
Most times we marry for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
Misplaced priorities. Misplaced. That is the basic thing that is affecting our youth. What we fantasize, once we see somewhere, whether it does exist or it's just a pretense, we assume that is the true definition. Our parents never married for love alone. If any married that I love this person. Check. They never married because they love this person. And they never stayed in the house because of the love they have for the man. Something prompted them to stay. And something also kept them there. But that mindset is no longer with our present our generation. Our thinking is different from them.
0810-9510-951. Make it quick and simple. 0810-951-951. You can also send messages if you're calling and it's not going through. Send a message to 0701-9339-962. Max, ask your guest if a marriage is legally dissolved. Can children at any point return their mother's what? Okay, let me take this. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Maxwell, good morning.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. My name is Adi.
Can you speak up, sir?
My name is Adi Buola.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I got involved with a lady. At my age, I'm 8 years old now. And I departed with my wife 2013. Then we were together. I got involved with her in 1998. Then I had my first daughter in 1999. Then we were not married. I didn't get any family something, but I know our relations. Then we started as she got pregnant. Going on.
Please call back. We can't understand you. You know, when you call in on a radio station, you just highlight the story in a way that we'll understand. You understand?
It's not clear.
And it's not also clear. Kanu, I can't understand your message. It says, can the children at any point return their mother or the man's house? I don't understand. Is it return their mother to the man's house? Is that what you mean? Please confirm if that's what you mean in your message. All right. Hello, good morning. Okay, this one says, good morning, sir. Please, if the husband leaves the wife and children because he doesn't want to beat up the wife, but he still takes care of the wife and children, is that act against the marriage? Ernest.
I think he was coming to say under desertion. No, it is not. It is not. For the fact that you are still taking care of the family, you have not deserted them.
Okay.
Desert means to abandon. For the fact that, yes, he has a reasonable ground to live for a while. In some places, court will give you an order of separation. Separation simply means both of you go and stay apart for a while. Let's observe whether within this 1 year or 6 months, your senses can come back together. But if that is not possible, that's where the court can now go ahead to make a final dissolution. For the first 3 months, order nicer. Now, if you are still taking care of your family, you have not deserted them.
Okay.
You have not.
Okay. Kano, I will assume this your message is you meant if a marriage is legally dissolved, can the children at any point return their mother to the man's house?
It must be within the consent of the both parties to say, yes, we have learned our mistake. But once an order is given dissolving the marriage, that initial contract has been set aside.
Okay.
So if you want to enter into another contract, it must be a new contract, not premised on the old one.
Okay.
That old one has been set aside by the order of court dissolving that contract. I don't want to use the word marriage here, so that we understand. Dissolving that contract.
Can there be any other romantic relationship between them?
That is a personal. Once the dissolution order is given, the both of you ordinarily, like in what the court do now, is asked to stay away from each other. That's what the court does now. Stay away from each other.
Okay, after the dissolution.
Yes. But where the both of you, peradventure, emotions
Old
comes
firewood,
in.
no dey quench.
I don't know that one. Emotions comes in again and you say, oh, sorry, we've learned our mistake. You cannot say we were married before.
Okay, you guys are just there. You're just
yes, you're no longer, unless you want to start the process afresh again.
Okay, let's take this. Good morning.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead quickly.
My name is Christian.
All right. Turn off your radio set.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say that children can still bring two parties back in marriage. I have a brother. When his son traveled to abroad and he and his wife, they were quarreling for more than 10 years. I don't know if you understand me.
Go ahead.
So what happened was this. So the son was bringing money for the father and he was also bringing for the mother. So a time came. So he told the father that, Daddy, if you did not settle with mommy, I will not bring money for you again. So the man has to look at it. What will he do? So they are the two parties. They have to come together and they settle. So the point that I'm making is that the children can still settle two parties. So that is my point.
Okay.
Has he answered the question?
Himself?
Yes. The scenario he painted, was there another of court?
Okay.
Dissolving that
I think
marriage.
Probably they just came
They just
together.
moved away. This one moved on his own way. His one went on his own way.
Maybe they didn't even marry. There was no. It was a traditional.
Maybe it was just a traditional marriage and not the English law. So he should get his facts and place it where necessary.
Okay.
Not all facts work in all situations.
Okay. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, I've called you before. I've been the Yoruba man that I've just called you for this man.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The woman has been involved with another man.
You said the woman did what?
She has been involved with another man. Marry her a second wife for another man. Get me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Has been involved with another man. And that man has been even involved with my children. He's involved taking care of them. I even know the man. We stay along in the same area. So, but my wife, me and her, we are not all that together. I've been telling you the story. I've been wanting her to change her character, which she was getting work then. And you will find all these the parent certificate before with what do you call it?
All right, thank you very much. You know, I don't know. Were you able
He should have made his point, his question. He's just telling the question.
We're even running out of time. They want your social media handle. Some people want to link up with you.
I'm not that social media.
Okay.
It's only Facebook, and my staying there is just to follow news handles.
Okay, but at least they can send friend requests.
Well, I know he's coming for advice, or he's coming for this thing. But the Facebook name is Living Gifting Jamala.
Okay, Living Living Gifting GIFTON. Okay, TON.
Yes.
Then Jamala JAMALA. Okay, Living Gifting Jamala.
I think whoever that wants to contact in this regard should first give me a DM.
Okay.
Before you send a friend's request.
Okay.
Because I don't accept friend's requests.
Okay. So just send a DM to Living Gifting Jamala on Facebook before you send a friend request. That's this policy. So please just follow. Thank you, Barrister Living Gifting Jamala, for coming on the show. We appreciate it. We've been able to learn a whole lot today because, you know, people mix it. I think from time to time we need to be informing people to know this, because people just feel, oh, once, like the man who called in, once you're done with traditional, that's it. And you talked about the contract. This is the law.
Yes, I knew about the lack of information when I was made one of the counselors in my church.
Oh.
And so that was when the persons that were coming, they have an idea of what they want to do, but sometimes you see them, that idea is not what is in reality the true way to go. Now I felt, okay, so many persons are lacking understanding in these things, and our churches too can go ahead to organize programs that will educate those married and those who are intending to marry. So many of our youths are fantasizing marriages, but it's not about fantasizing it. You go to courts and see how these persons who were yesterday so eager to get married are now
just 6 months after, 1 year after.
2 months, 3 months.
Wow.
Yes. So what has gone wrong in the society?
Thank you, Barrister Living. We appreciate you for coming.
Thank you, and have a very good weekend.
Stay with us. Family Circle is up next.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Oh, no, London. Sipping on life at the liquor bar. See you at the corner. Are you alone tonight? Has anybody told you that you look so nice? Or am I the first guy? Oh, baby, I'm loving your style. Let me buy your drink for the night. Spend my money on you, get you rings that you didn't have. So let's go to the time when you answer me, yeah. Cause it's cold in the dark. Do you need some company, girl? Oh, hey, mystery girl, what you doing all alone there? Oh, hey, mystery girl. Oh, hey, mystery girl. Oh, hey, mystery girl. What do I have to do to know your history? I'm sitting in the dark at the busy bar. You at the corner. You're alone again tonight. I guess he doesn't tell you that you look so nice. He's not a nice guy. All these drinks make you fly. Step on the dance floor. We don't wanna be my order. I see the lonely in your eyes. Come on, let me make your night. So let's go to the time when you answer me, yeah. Cause it's cold in the dark. So do you need some company, girl? Oh, hey, mystery girl, what you doing all alone there? Oh, hey, mystery girl.
Maybe home is somebody's smile when they look at you for the first time. Maybe home is being a home to something you love and adore with all your heart, and that is what life, friendship, and love are all about. Maybe home is listening to all of your favorite shows on Today 95.1 FM. We create memories. We inspire comfort. We are the voice of the people, and we are home away from home.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Family Circle on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. You know, I was just talking with Mrs. Harriet. As a man, as a woman, there are things you think you know that you don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
There are things you need to know as a woman to be able to be a wife. There are things you need to know as a man to be a good husband. These days now, we just assume we know. There's a whole lot of assumption out there, and it's not really turning out well.
No, it's making mockery of the whole institution.
That's why when there are programs like this, I learn a whole lot.
Yes,
that's the truth, because it's marriage is an institution that you didn't create.
Yeah.
There's an author, and there are people who have been married for a very long time.
Yes.
It's always better for you to learn from experience. Yes. There are people who have been able to manage situations that probably you're currently in. When you hear them talk, you just learn and then implement it, upgrade on it, implement it. Very simple.
That's true.
Barrister who left, Barrister Jamala, said something that the young people these days marry for some certain reasons. Probably because of beauty, because of money, because of societal influence, which is not supposed to be. And because I was shocked, you know.
Unrealistic expectations.
Yes, when he talked about, you know, you see 20 court cases, and then you see about 5-6 of them are marriage petitions, divorce.
Then you've not gone to feed them.
For people who have been married for just 1 year. 2 months,
even less than 2 months, yes.
So I'm now wondering.
You're wondering.
But in some cases, these people, some of them dated for like 2-3 years.
Oh my goodness. And they profess love to each other then.
Then now you are married. 2 months after you say you want to divorce. What went wrong? Something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Probably the foundation. Last week I talked about don't promise a woman that you want to marry her. And today, let me bring in this in. Because a man is training you in school. In fact, firstly, if a man starts training you in school, please ask questions from the beginning.
Yeah, thank you. SK.
On a day here, coppers, on a day here, because it's usually when you are finished serving, you now know that the man is an illiterate. That is a mechanic. You won't be able to marry a mechanic. That's when you don't pass
when
out.
he has been paying the school fees.
When he was paying school fees.
And buying those hair, weave-ons.
You didn't know he was a copper.
No.
I mean, he was an illiterate. Now, you just did POP today. Tomorrow you post, I cannot marry an illiterate.
Absolutely.
Auntie,
that's true.
The moment a man, this is not your father. Please, let us, you know, this is Africa. We take some things for granted.
Yes.
This person is not your father. It is only your father that has the legal right to pay, or your uncle. Okay, even your uncle, you can't hold him accountable that he didn't pay your school fees. It's not his responsibility. If he does it, it's out of his own volition. But your father, it is his responsibility to pay your school fees. If it's late, your mother or uncles can also contribute. Now, when someone comes into your life as a man that you are dating and then starts paying your school fees, start attending to your needs, you should ask question, sir, where are we going with? Especially if the person is even far older. Because if it's a young person and is doing it, usually if you check, most times this is between someone who is educated and someone who is not educated.
Yeah.
Most times.
Most times it's true.
You won't see a educated lady versus young educated guy we fresh. That one she go green marry.
Of course.
If you check, most times these cases are usually between the lady who is fresh, the guy is advanced, or
and
didn't
struggling.
go to school.
Cool, yeah.
Or it might be a young person who also didn't go to school.
Yeah.
Then the moment you pass out, you did POP, you now know that you will not marry this guy. Please ask questions from the beginning. Don't just be chopping school fees.
School fees.
And then at the end of the day, the moment you pass out, now for those of you who have started eating 77,000 copper, then you chop government money finish. Then you pass out. Then you will now know that this man is an illiterate. Auntie, you will pay. I'll share a story, live story. This one, the guy called in to the show and narrated how he was giving. We didn't know the guy was keeping receipt of all the money. Yes,
seriously?
They transfer all the receipt. He was keeping it. The guy is selling in Onisha.
Oh.
And then this girl was going to school. They started dating, and the next thing, he was training her in school, giving her all she needs. And then when she finished, the guy said, "Oh yeah, let's proceed to see your parents." Say, "No, I can't marry you." Say, We didn't know he also knew the house of the girl in the village.
In the village.
See what happened? The girl had already brought someone else for introduction. The person has done introduction. The guy got a hint of it and then traced her to the. She didn't know she was living in the city. Traced her village house and went to the parents and the uncles and everyone and narrated everything and showed them receipt.
Oh my goodness.
They opened their mouth and was looking at him like this. He says he doesn't want trouble. If she will not marry me, they should return.
Look at my
all the
bill.
money.
Return the
This
money.
is the
Yes.
bill. Because the money is running into millions.
Yeah, of course.
Where would they bring that kind of money from?
Of course. Maybe the new husband. I should tell
Where
him
will he bring that kind of money from? He was not there when this transaction was going on. If it's me, I will leave you and run away. Because
both of them will leave her.
Oh, because how can I go and carry
Pennywise,
what I did not?
police, both of them will
So
leave
that's
her.
why I'm bringing this. So if someone starts paying your school fees, please ask questions. If it's an NGO, the person is not River State government that gave you scholarship. The person is not federal government that gave you scholarship. The person is not your church or assembly that gave you scholarship. It's not the mosque that gave you scholarship. It's not an NGO that gave you scholarship. Now one man. Now one man be NGO. When they do.
I didn't ask him now. I didn't ask him now.
It's all right. So that is the food for thought for the day. So love language,
yes.
Mrs. Harriet.
Yes.
It is in these days now we're hearing love language. In those days, your mother, were they having love language? Or the love language was when she was rubbing powder.
Yes, you don't understand. Love language has always been there.
To go to the chamber.
To go to the chamber.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, you wouldn't get it. Oh, there are little things that garnish relationship, like we just said. Do you understand? People feel marriage is all about, just get married, start producing children. No. One of the first reasons why God created marriage was for companionship. He said he said Adam, and he said it's not good for a man to be alone. I will make an help meet for him. Do you understand? So the major reason God created marriage was for companionship. Children are the fallout from this relationship. So let's not forget this, because we take it for granted.
Does it sell in Africa?
I'm just trying to tell you.
We value children in Africa.
We value children, but they are fallout of this institution. So the first thing you should think of, companionship, how to sustain that relationship that brought you together. That's why you see, we just talked about, why are marriage failing? Things are not working again. There's a strategy that you came in with when you got married to your wife. There's a spark, like a light, like lightning. Do you understand? When you talk to your wife on phone, you can't wait to see her. If she calls you on phone, you can't wait to see your husband. You understand? What happened after 2-3 years down the line? Why? Why did it come down? Because there was a strategy that was working for both of you initially, and you let your guards down. You put everything down. Because somebody will say, man, we don't win the election in the campaign again. And seriously, this is when you should campaign more. Do you understand? Because you need to sustain the relationship. Love is not effortless. You just keep it and it will stay. Love dies and can die a permanent death. From everybody hearing the sound of my voice, if you don't water it, there's a constant, it's just like flower. When you plant flowers in a garden and you don't give it that constant watering, what happens to the flower? It will die off. You must put effort to sustain love. It takes effort to sustain love. So That's where love language comes about. You say our parents they were doing it, but not in a defined way. Do you understand? They were doing it. There's something called love language. We are all social beings. And the way we react to things, accept things, express things, experience things are distinctive. They're quite different from one another. So it's very essential.
Because you just wonder when a woman just comes back and the woman says in those days, there's a way the man will answer.
Yeah.
She will know that he's either hungry.
Or he's angry. Or he's hungry.
He will now ask, did the Umunna came to see Nai? Say yes. Okay. Maybe they must have discussed something and he's angry. That's not the right time
to say thank you.
To go and see him. So I was wondering how our mothers...
They were able to... love language has always been there.
As small as I was, I used to watch my grandmother, how she relates with my grandfather then. And I was wondering, how is it that these people understand? You know, my uncle used to tell me, don't put mouth in their matter. He doesn't put his mouth into their matter. That's their first son. With my uncle. So these two people, they will quarrel. The next few minutes, you see both of them drinking palm wine.
Wine, thank you. That's the long language. There's something about that palm wine. You think it's just a palm wine? No. There's something that clicks. That each time they take that palm wine, somebody serves that palm wine, you just touch the love language of your husband by serving that palm wine. You just, every annoyance or anything he has harbored inside him, you've just destroyed it with that serving of that palm wine.
The same one that was quarreling with him will go and arrange, yam.
Okay.
In my place, we have yam in, bountiful. So she would roast it and then arrange it with some leaf like that. Pound it with so much pepper and then oil and go and start the same man.
You can serve it. That same man, by giving that man that food, that is the love languages of your father. That's the love language. That particular food. Each time you present that food, no matter how angry he is, do you understand? The woman understands that if I present this food, I have.
Some of them will start eating.
They will start eating.
Drinking
you have
fresh
just touched that side of the man.
My uncle will now say, see two of them.
You just brought the guards down. You just brought that guard down. So they've always been love language, but it's not properly defined. Like now, I'm trying to define it right now. In the year 1992, he's a marriage counselor, very renowned marriage counselor, Gary Chapman. He came with 5 love languages because through coupling, through counseling, couples come here and there are millions of couples that he has actually intervened in their relationship and every other thing, he was able to coin out 5 primary love language that each of us can fall under. So if there's something primary, then there's also something called secondary. So we want to talk about the primary. You might fall into one of these one. This one of the 5 languages that I want to call, and they are namely words of affirmation, act of service, physical touch, gift. There are about 5 of them. So you will fall into one. Definitely. By the time I start explaining them, you will fall into one. You know where you belong to. So you'll be able to express it. So let me start this way. Love language. It's like you. I'm getting married to a man. He's an Igbo man. Meanwhile, I'm Yoruba. We need to communicate. We need to coexist, isn't it? And communication is everything. Communication is the make and break of every relationship. If a relationship is about to die, the first thing that dies is communication. So we need to communicate, isn't it? So how do we communicate? I'm Yoruba. You are Igbo. And we are getting married. It will be pretty daunting, isn't it? It will be challenging because we need to communicate. So that's what love language is. We need to speak. So what happens? And we have to learn your own love language, and you also have to learn my language. So that sometimes you speak my language, I resonate with it immediately, and sometimes I speak your language and you resonate with it immediately. So let me give an example. If you go to Aba, the thing they speak in Aba, Aba market, is mostly Igbos. You hear them speak Igbo and all that. Then all of a sudden, you hear somebody speaking your dialect, maybe Izon, strong Izon, from the Bayelsa, very strong one, and you are from that place. Me hearing the sound, what will happen to you?
You will click now.
You will click. There's this distraction immediately. I'm like, excuse me, are you from so place? That is what love language is.
What brought you here?
What brought you here? You just tap into the person's, inner soul by speaking that language. So that is what love language is, even to couples. Love language is simply how we experience love and express love. Everybody has a distinctive way. But the mistake we are doing as couples, we also feel that maybe as a man, the way I feel and experience love, that is how I will express it to my partner. No, your partner is distinctive, is different from yours. So we must understand each other's love language to be able to communicate, to be able to coexist frequently. That's why you see some people say, I'm no longer sexually attracted to this person. No. You've just done something. You've not tapped into their love language. Do you understand? There's something you initially were doing it when you met this person, but all of a sudden over familiarity comes in and you drop all these things. Like, it doesn't matter again. I beg, we don't marry. No, these things matters. All these things are the spark that brings the spark that keeps the relationship going. That even after 20 years, I'm still married to my husband. I told my husband one day, if I had to do this thing again over, I would do it with you. Me and your children will do with you. What is bringing it? There are little things you think that doesn't matter in a relationship. I beg, no matter what they call language, I beg, throw this in away. Is a lie. These are the things that bring the spark and the light in the relationship. You don't throw them away. There's a strategy that worked for you when you met this woman, when you met this man. You don't throw that strategies away, or else. That's why we're having all these issues we're having right now. So number one is the words of affirmation. I belong to this group of people. Words of affirmations. Words of affirmations are this group of people. They want you to express love to them. They want to experience love by words. It could be verbally, it could be written, compliments, appreciation. Once you do this, you don't, when you go to the other room, you don't need to, there's no efforts. You don't need to do any efforts, they initiate it themselves because you just tapped into their love language. It is that serious in a relationship. People don't know. Words of affirmation. That's why you see women at times, they will dress up. When they dress up, they just go in front of their husband, They will just be doing shakara all along.
They expect you to say
something. But the very insensitive man who doesn't even understand what love language is, the woman is trying to send a signal to you then. That dress is trying to tell you, compliment me. I want to hear this from you, my husband. Nobody should tell me outside. You tell me. It means so much to me. And then you say, please, you are blocking my view. Go and sit down, Joe. Why are you just parabolating up and down? You destroy that woman. You destroy that woman the whole of that day. I'm telling you, it is that bad. That's why you see a woman sometimes goes to her share. She refuses to speak. She refuses to talk to you. You go, you buy gifts for her. You go, you buy this. Nothing. She went into a share. We call it stonewalling. Anything that concerns you, the house, conflict resolution, she doesn't want to hear. She doesn't care. Because that minute, you just destroyed her. She was expecting you to tap into that love language just to appreciate her. Tell her how beautiful that dress is. Even call the salonist that made the hair. Say, my wife, give me the number. Give me the number of the salonist. Who made this kind of beautiful hair? Let me thank them. Hey, look, you look exceptionally beautiful. You are still that woman that I met 20 years ago. When you tell a woman that, a woman who belongs to this class, oh my goodness, you finish them. You finish them. But when you become very insensitive to them, that's why you see women become very cold and quiet. You become very sensitive to their plight. So they believe that you don't know them. I've been married to you for the past 20 years and you don't still know me. They expect you to know them. They expect you to tap into their love language. So if you don't do that, you destroy them. For every man hearing the sound of my voice, a woman who belongs to this category, you can go 20, 30 years, like me. You can leave me for 20 years. My husband can go abroad. He will come back and meet me the way I am. Why? I just need a constant reassurance, reaffirmations. Harriet, I love you. We believe in sticky note. Write sticky note and put in the mirror. I love you. You are beautiful. I love what you are wearing today. The color resonates with my soul. Just keep telling
you that is even a fashion designer. Your husband.
My husband don't hear me. That constant reassurance. So just go wherever you go. I will wait for you. 20, 30 years. I don't care. When you come back, you see me intact. These are women because it's words that makes us, and the same words that breaks us. Words are powerful to us. We don't take it for granted. So you can see a woman, you will use a word for a woman when you are quarreling or maybe arguing with her, and you think it's finished. That woman will harbor that words, that negative words that you used for her for the next 20 years. You wouldn't know. And she'll be working with it. Do you understand? Our actions, because they allow their emotions to control their actions. She might even have a journal that she stores everything that you've done, all the words, very insensitive words you use for women. Women that belong to this group, my goodness, don't try. There are do's and there are don'ts. One of their don'ts, like, don't use words, negative words for them, because you finish them if you do that. They capitalize on your words. They keep it in their hearts. They harbor this resentment and they walk with it. You understand, a woman that you once loved, everything was going fine. All of a sudden, this woman changed. Becomes so very quiet, very insensitive to your plight or to your care. She doesn't care anymore and everything. She used to keep your Hondas, put it in place. All of a sudden, she stopped. She stopped. There are some words you've used unknowing to you as a man. You have even gone to drink beer that very day with your friends, not knowing that this woman is harboring that thing in her heart, and she will walk with it. So people who belong to this group, their words of affirmation, this group, hey, be very careful with them. They're very sensitive with words. Okay. The men that are in this very group, particular group, they want you to compliment them. Okay. Like my husband. Is more of a slimmer side. Do you understand? So sometimes when he wears this Italian suit, because it's not so fat, you understand, his stomach is flat. So when he wears Italian suits, the way he flatters his body, once I see my husband on Italian suit, my goodness, I will hail him, my Odogu. There's no name I don't call him. Olorogu, Abaworo. I will speak my language and I appreciate him. Do you understand? So you say those beautiful, call their names, make them feel that they are the heroes, the eagles. You understand? You want to hate them. I can sit and just write a note to my husband and say, look, you are the most beautiful thing that have ever happened to me. You are this mistake I never made. Thank God I said yes to you. Do you understand? So sometimes during his lunchtime, he picks up and see that kind of note. Oh my goodness, that man wants to come home so soon. So you compliment them, you appreciate them. These are the people that belong to the words of affirmation. They are very powerful thing. Once you can tap to it, you know a woman's weapon. You tap that weapon, my goodness, you hit them so hard with it. You will never get it wrong in a relationship. My husband knows mine, and he knows. When I look good like this, when I come out, he looks at me and nods his head. Yes, this is good. Go ahead. Do you understand? I never feel comfortable if my husband does not tell me. Even if millions of people tell me outside, Harriet, you're looking good. And I looked at the mirror and I said, I am looking good, and I know because I'm a fashion designer, I'm looking good. But I want to hear it from my husband's mouth. My husband should be the first to tell me. Do you know what it means to me? That day, the confidence I use in walking.
You will be Shakara woman.
You will be Shakara woman. So that confidence, you understand? And there are men that also belong to this category that I said, they want you to hate them, make them feel like your hero that they are. Odogu, call them all the beautiful names you can call them. Charge them up. Women don't understand. Men are easy, they are just like your 2-year-old children. Do you understand? If you pay attention to men, great men in the Bible.
Is it also true that, the woman who pays attention to how the man is faring in his career?
Yes. Yeah, that could be his love language. That's what I'm telling you. That men are not difficult as women think they are. Look, I've been in a relationship for over 20 years. I'm telling you. Men are not difficult the way women think they are. Men are just like those little children that you pamper. When you give them attention, they will love you. It's like a woman that has a housemaid. Over about 24 hours in the day, half of the time you're at work. But this maid spends more than 24 hours with the children on a daily basis. You'll be so shocked that one day you went to the market with your maid and you are coming back. You know this, your children, they will not run to you. They will run to the housemaid. I have seen it times without numbers. Because it's the housemaid that pays attention to them. So men are like that. When you pay attention to them, to their plight, to their needs, oh my goodness, that's why you see men sometimes you say, how did this man go out with an housemaid as clean as this man? This man is not saying that dirty. You say this maid is dirty. The man is just saying somebody that pays attention to his needs. That's all. And it's possible that is his own love language. I'm going to come down to that. Yes.
From a heated
environment. You understand?
And the woman does not understand that this man needs one warm bath, everything, and then how did your day go?
Go. Thank you. And it's just one housemaid that comes in.
Is there anything I need to
help you?
I am also sure some men also want a woman who will understand, who have a pre-knowledge, some few foundational knowledge of what he does. You understand?
No, we are going to come to that.
Say, probably this thing that you're doing, I've been able to print this document. Don't you think it will help?
Yep.
And the man looks at the document and say, wow, where did you get this from?
Maswe, we are coming to that. That's the act of service. Is another language entirely. I'm just trying to analyze the words of affirmation. That's act of service. There are men who like women who can assist them career-wise, not only we talk about children, he has affairs. No. That is act of service. We are going to come to that. I'm talking of words of affirmations. Men who belong to this group, you understand? He compliments, men think towards women who appreciate them, who made them feel that they are winning, who made them feel that they are hero. Make your husband feel that he's the hero. I was telling somebody, look, I don't go to school when it comes to my husband. I didn't pass from my CISO. I don't do anything. It's only when I come to the radio, my mouth is so sharp. But before my husband, for my sis, I no go. I don't know. Do you understand? Because I want him to feel to be the hero. Women understand this thing. Men are easy to tap in. Great men in the Bible were brought down by women. We have the power in our hands. I don't know why they don't want to use it. Tap into a man. You will get anything you want to get. Put your down. Just bend down. There's one song they used to sing, bend down below,
bend down low.
Bend down low and see what the Lord can do.
Yeah.
That's what the men had to.
Bend low.
Thank you. And see what the Lord can do. The men just bend low a little.
That the reason
and
why
see what the men can do.
The issue of you doing akara in the morning, let's be practical, and pap, you keep even when your husband is asleep. Is it that he loves akara and pap?
See, I've been able to study my husband. Over 20 years now, I've been married to him. He's not a child. He's not beans. For over 20 years now to be married to him. So I should be able to know what he likes, what can resonate with him. That when he wakes up in the morning and wants to do this thing, you can go to anywhere you want to go to. My husband don't care. But just do the things that you need to do as a wife. You understand that things my husband will wake up to see. When you do it, and that's the act of service. My husband belongs to the group of act of service. You assist them, keep the hundies, all those little things. I'm coming to that. You understand? Even their office wise, they tell you, you contribute.
No, you're already talking about
it. That's what. Okay, so let's just move to act of service right now. Act of service are men and women. They believe in you assisting them, uplift them, relieve them of some of the burdens that they are carrying. Do you understand? Be an assistant and help meet for them. Do you understand? You are not just there for decoration. Like a woman was telling me that the husband got very angry with her. Very angry with her. I said, well, what happened in the car? The man was driving and the man wanted water. The water was by the side of the PGO. Do you understand? The man that is driving took the water and started drinking the water. He was struggling to open it. Before he drank water, he was struggling to open it with his steering. And you are sitting by the side of this man.
Common sense.
Common sense that is not always common. So why did you pick up and say, oh, honey, you're driving, don't worry. Let me do this for you. Open that water and give to him to drink. That is why you are sitting by his side. I was angry with her that day. I was very angry with her. I said, you caused it. Do you understand? So you have to be sensitive. This act of service, these little things that can, that can relieve them of some burdens. Act of service.
You do that also when you go out with your husband.
A lot.
He walks out of the event and you notice something must have gone wrong.
Thank you.
So you find out what has gone wrong.
I got that from my mother.
You also talked about a case where you went somewhere and he was licking his finger from a particular soup.
Yes.
So you just noticed, okay, he loves this soup.
Thank you.
So you went to learn how to cook it, go home, cooked it, and that was it.
That was it. Listen, I got this from my mom. You understand? My mom, we can be in the church or whatever occasions. My mom taught me that. Always let your eyes always be on your husband. Not for, jealousy.
Let your eyes
always be on your husband. Yes. He said, that's where your treasure is. I'm in this Port Harcourt because of my husband. I don't joke with my husband. No play reach that man's side. Because I'm here because of him. I see him as everything by God's grace. After my God, not even my mother. After my God, Jesus Christ, which are the supreme, you understand? The next person I see is my husband, not even my mom. Yes, it is bad. It's that bad. As close as my mom is to me, the way he raised me, I'm here today because a woman did an extra job on me. But you see my husband. No go there. I don't joke. So my mother taught me, made me feel that your husband, you must take care of your husband. It's your responsibility. So
it's the woman's responsibility to take care of the man.
Of the man, yes. He said, you are the woman. You are the home builder, not the man. So your eyes should always be on that man. The reason why you are here is because of that man. If the crown is taken out of your head, you understand what it means for a man to cover you up. So I have that consciousness in me all the time. So if my husband goes out, my mom eyes will be on my father 24/7. That even when my father steps out from the church, my mom is stepping out from that church. Even if she's singing in the choir, my mom leaves everything and go to attend to my father. Like, because there's one native name he calls my father, Somati. They know he speaks my language. They're like, what's happening? Why are you outside? My father would say, I am thirsty. You're thirsty, okay, don't worry, sit down. My mother will go and look for water. My mother will call of us, we'll go and look for water. Bring water for my daddy will drink, feel comfortable, and goes back. And as soon as my daddy goes back, my mom goes back to the hall. So I also grew up seeing that. Even if my husband is in the church and he steps out from the elder because he's an elder in the church, so he steps out, my eyes, somebody have noticed me, Harriet, leave this man alone and they won't see your husband. I say, you people will not understand. So they would not understand. That's the way I was raised. So I go outside like, is there any problem? It's known that he's looking for somebody.
So some women, church go close. The husband is hungry, did not eat from house. I'm sure some men will resonate with what I'm saying. And then she's busy discussing whatever meeting they are doing.
Yes. And you know your
husband never eats. So the man gets angry and then goes home. And then you come back home and then you see him sleeping. And he has not eaten. But you were in the church, in quote. And the same God you say you are serving says you should serve your husband. Is that not so?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So tango is coming from Mrs.
It's coming from me. Coming from me. You know, I close first before my husband. He's an elder, so he stays late. So what I do, I make sure I run up whatever I'm running up, so that before he comes, at least the food is ready in his flask. I always keep my husband's food in flask hot. If he comes, he doesn't even need to tap me if I'm not there. He knows where his food is. Constantly, yes, constantly. The flask keeps it very hot and warm. But if I'm around, I want to take it out from the flask for him, you know, and put it on the table the way I will serve him. But if I'm not around, my husband knows where to go to collect his food. So it's very important that you are sensitive to these things. There are men that food is their love language. Once you tap food, give them food, good food, that thing they like so much, like you were telling me of stories about your people, you know, your parents and everything. Once you give them that particular food, like I told you of my husband now, he was eating his okazi. Then I was not raised. It's afang, yes. It's afang.
Afang is
afang
from
soup.
Akwa Ibom.
It's Akwa soup. Me, I'm from Delta State, so I don't know this soup. You know, I know my banga soup. You know, those things we cook, ogo, and every other thing. So when I came into Port Harcourt, I like each time we go out to a party, I see my husband eating this soup. The way he eats this soup, I'm jealous. So, me, I can cook. I know how to cook a lot. Do you understand? But why is it that my husband eats this particular food? And like, he wants some more. I said no. So one day I went to the office. Then I was working. I called an Akwa Ibom girl. She now told me the recipes. If you know how to cook. You went
all this way?
Yes, I do. I did. In my office. I can call her name. My name is Gloria. Yes.
Wow.
SCM. So she told me, she gave me the recipes, what to buy, how to buy. Once you can cook, you know how to cook. You just need the recipes. And that's all. So she told me and I wrote it down. I went to the market. I didn't tell my husband nothing. Before he came back from work one day, I have prepared. Yes, was ready. And he asked me that, did you buy this soup? I said, I didn't buy it. I made it. You made this soup. Oh my goodness. My husband was.
He gave you ATM.
I say men are easy, women don't understand. Come let me groom you people. Hey, come let me be. There's one day my husband came back from work. Do you know? No, I told him to sit down. He was so tired. Sit down, don't worry. After eating, he was watching television. I carried a white basin like my mother told me. Put hot water. Carried my husband's leg. Yes. I carried my husband's leg in the hot water.
You, Mrs. Harris?
Yes. As my husband can hear the sound of my voice this morning. Yes. My husband was sitting.
He put leg inside.
He put leg inside the hot water. Then I came back. I gave it some like 20 minutes, like manicure and pedicure, the way they do it in the salon. You know, I bought the instruments and everything. So when the thing is soft enough, you can use razor blade or whatever, you know, the sharp thing to scrape the leg, you know, and then clean the fingernails and everything, you know, with my white towel. His leg was on my lap. You understand? After doing, my husband slept off. My husband slept off on the chair.
Go sleep?
On the chair. So when he woke up and I finished, do you know what he did? Was to hold me very close to himself.
Wow.
That's his spark. That's where intimacy starts from and ends from. Tap into a man's love language. My husband liked the heart of service. You do small things for him to assist him. You understand? If he comes with you, because he hardly talks. So sometimes when he comes to you, he expects you as a wife, you know, to be able to give meaningful contribution, you know, to little things that can uplift, you know, that can lessen his burden. As a woman, when you tap into that, my goodness, what are you looking for? What are you looking for?
You know why I want you to give this practical example? So it don't look as though we're talking theory.
No, these are the things I do, and this is what I'm telling you. Do you understand? Go and see. I don't know. Go to my Facebook page, my personal page, Premier Women. You will see me and my husband holding hands, even after 20 years of marriage. We are still holding hands and going to the studio to snap picture.
I saw.
Yeah,
the
do you
recent
understand?
one
We are not celebrating anything. No, there's no anniversary. Yes,
because
I made people know that this is not an anniversary picture. I made people know in my personal page, it is not an anniversary picture. No. The love that I have for this man from the one I met him is still intact. Same thing with him, because we did not change our strategy. Both of us are committed to the relationship. We didn't change our strategy. And that's why even after 20 years, I told my husband, if I have to rewind this button again, I will do it with you and not any other man. And same thing with him. Do you understand? We know our roles. We play our roles distinctively. I know I'm a wife. My husband needs to eat. No matter how tired you think I will be at that time, I will not use it as an excuse that my husband's food will not be ready.
That's a major issue.
Yes, I will not use it. It's only common sense. A man that is sensitive sometimes knows that you're tired. And he tells you like, no, today don't cook for me. I know you're tired. Let's go out and eat. Okay. That is it. That is it. But not because you were so...
Someone posted something and said... when they come back to the village, their mother usually cooks for everyone and all that. And she says, even when you tell her, Mama is okay, say, no, that's her satisfaction. And then somebody, a young girl, will say, our mother said they were suffering.
Suffering?
They were suffering. The woman says that's what gives her satisfaction.
Yes,
her children, their wives, they came.
Your children.
Yes, the wives will assist. Then the grandchildren. Her satisfaction at that Christmas, New Year period is that she cooked and her whole family is eating, including her husband and even the husband's Umuna and Umugis in our Ekwere land, how it's being called in Ekwere land and all that, depending on the culture. And then a young girl is coming to say, her mother said they were suffering in marriage.
Suffering. But they were able to retain their home.
She cannot take that
like,
kind
seriously?
of thing. For what? I say, okay.
But check out, they were able to retain their husbands. But what's happening right now? Are women able to retain these men? No. Because when you leave the normal guidelines, my strategy might not work for you. Yours might not work. But there's a general guideline. Do you understand? That keeps the relationship intact. And that's what I'm talking about now. The love language. Understanding your partner's love language will help you. It fosters intimacy. Do you understand? It's like somebody love language that is gift. There are people that their love language is gift. It doesn't need to be expensive. Okay. Do you understand? Yes. It could be this cupcake that your wife likes so much. Every time, like my daughter, cupcake.
Might
once
be
you buy
egg, might be banana.
It might be banana. Thank you. You just see, my wife loves this, and you buy it. She will hug you. That hug, foster a lot of things. You understand? There's emotional intimacy leads to physical intimacy. Do you understand? As you have sent a signal that resonates with her emotions immediately, and it will lead to the other room. Do you understand? So sometimes men don't understand this thing. You have a wife that this woman, she's so insensitive to my conjugal rights. There's small things you will do sometimes that will just tap into a woman's emotional states. And emotional intimacy leads to physical intimacy for a woman. So once you do that, the connection, the spark, you don't need to do any work at night. You don't need to. She will initiate it. Because you've tapped into a love language. So it could be gift. But issue with gift, the dawns about gift, people that, resonate with gift, when you give them, they express and experience love by you giving them something. The issue is that, look, give them what they can resonate with, something they like. Because some men call in sometimes and say, there's nothing I've not been doing for this woman. I will buy gifts.
You buy the wrong gift.
You are doing the right thing in the wrong way. Do you understand? And there are some people who believe, who are in this category. They want their quality time people. Their quality time. Okay. Yes, quality time. Yes, it's part of the love language. So if their quality time and you're buying gift for them, but then you go buy gift.
You're missing it.
You will buy gift. You will see, you go and buy diamond for your wife, and you expect your wife to won't sleep on the floor when she comes and see diamond. She will keep the diamond aside and like, make him the buy diamond then. Na diamond I want chop. The woman wants you to be with her. That each time you go on rig and you come back, she has waited for you for 2 weeks or 3 months. She wants you to spend some time with her. Not about that diamond. She doesn't care about your diamond. But that minutes you spend with her, holding hands with her, no distractions, no interruption. You send signal into her love language. You catch her like a child. That's what it means. But you can just be buying gifts for her, but she does not belong to that category. So people that like gift, you know, it doesn't mean it could be pen, it could be biro, but you know, but they resonate with those things. You know, small gift, those things they like. These people belongs to gift. Then the people that want physical touch, yes, physical touch. That is why if you're married to a woman that likes physical touch or a man that likes physical touch, and they send you abroad, be very careful. Oh. Yes. That is why it's important we understand these things. Do you understand? I'm going to call, okay, how do you know I'm going to talk about how do you know your love language, you know, and how do you identify your partner zone? You speak. It's through communication. Yes. Even if you cannot speak, and the person will tell you and say, look, this is how I want to experience love. I express love. Do you understand? So when you marry people that likes physical touch, you know, they like you touching, they like touching you, hanging around with you, putting their heads on your shoulders. Even when you're watching television, they are clinging to you. Do you understand? They like hug, they have kisses, they like sex. Do you understand? Any physical contact, these people. So when you travel abroad and leave this category of people, you will be in trouble, because their love language is physical. You know, they want this physical contact. So these are the little things you can do that can foster that intimacy. But just understanding your partner's love language can change the whole game for you.
Right.
It is that important.
Let's take some calls.
Okay,
join the conversation. The love language, we talked about physical intimacy, act of service, gifts, words of affirmation.
Yeah.
The Sage from Rupolko says, hello, greetings to you and your guests. I think men also need women who are good listeners and good learners. A woman who is willing to humble herself and be groomed by them, a team player. My wife never loved politics and even listening to radio, but today, if the radio is not on, she asks for me to put it on. She's even now scouting for breaking news politically. Okay.
That's good.
Okay, I will not read the first part. I didn't go to work yesterday because of certain work at the workplace. I stayed at home for the first time in a long time, and it was a happy moment to be with my wife in the house all through the day. This morning, I didn't feel like going to work again. I felt like staying with her as I didn't yesterday. Michael, leave me alone, 0810-9510-951. Send in your messages to 0701-933-9962. Go ahead. Good morning.
Hello, Mr. Maxwell.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, greeting to you, Reginald.
Yes, sir.
I think I've been following your program. I've been following this particular program, especially the woman in the studio. I think I only want to thank her. I wish that every woman will have opportunity of listening to her. Her teaching is encouraging and going to impact positively in the life of our families. I think there is nothing she said here that I will tell you that if I 100% I give it to her. I think I enjoy our women to have opportunity of listening to her. And I don't know her NGO, how her NGO can stray more than at least getting people together so that talking with people together. I think that will help because the problem in the family is too much. So she has provided a lot of solutions. Thank you very much.
Can help as well to help.
Thank you very much, Reginald. Keep the calls coming in. Your contributions, your question. Someone asked a question, was it last 2 weeks or thereabout?
Okay.
Why is it that some women don't like staying with their husbands' people?
Okay.
When their husbands' people come to stay, why is it that some women are resistant?
Okay, same. This is my take. This is my take on that. You understand? You know, there's something my mother tells the son if they're getting married. He said, look, if you want peace in your home, no matter how tight it is, my children will not come and stay with you. Yes. My children, even if I struggle with these children, I'm unable to train them. The only thing I will tell you, you can rent a house for them outside and give them whatever you want to give to them. But my children will not stay with you. Yes. My mother let me, if you want peace, he said, because when you allow your wife's people to stay with them, if they have issues, they will go to their village and settle. You will not even know what is going on. But because these women feel that you are not from them, do you understand? You are their husbands, brothers, sisters, you know. Any little thing you do in the house, they pick quarrel. But but normally it's not supposed to resonate or to quarrel or get to that stage of you know, trying to attack them, because they don't want you around. They feel, you know, they become very insensitive, you understand? Any little things that will not bring issue in the house, you know, you see women, you know, because you are not from them, normally. So for a man, if you don't want that heat of the moment, if you want peace, Allah, like she bring all her house people, bring to the house. If they have issues, do your face as if you don't know what is going on. They will go and settle their case without you even coming involved. But when they now bring you in every now and then, your brother have done this, your sister have done this, you that peace that you be looking for, you will not find though. So it is better that you even rent a house for them and have peace. Give them whatever you want to give without even your wife knowing.
Okay.
Because your wife will not be snoozing into everything you give to them and assume, oh, you are not even giving to our people, but just because of your people, you are giving them everything. If she will start snoozing, things that will not bring issue in the house, she will not become insensitive, even taking care of you is the problem. You have brought fire in your household.
Okay, let's take this. Yes. 0810-9510-951. So, Mrs. Harriet is just saying wisdom. You know, wisdom is profitable. There are things you just need wisdom.
Yeah.
Good morning. Go ahead, good morning. Oh, so sorry about that. Please, I'd love to also read your messages. Chisum says, Oga Max, marriage sweet like this. See how people's testimonies make me smile. God bless your guests. Thank you, Chisum. Good morning. 0810-9510-9. If you also have questions, please, or you have any form of disagreement. I disagree with Mrs. Harriet.
Yeah, please do.
You know, from this angle, please join the conversation. Good morning. What's wrong with the phone lines? Keep the calls coming in, or better still, send in a message. We have a few minutes left to wrap up, but just join the conversation. Good morning.
Yeah, my pleasure to be part of the discussion. My name is Somi Rekosoma.
Yes, sir.
I would like to ask your guest speaker whether she can identify the trait of a bad wife and a righteous wife. That is, after applying all that you have done as she has recommended, and yet you don't seem to see positive results. Are there bad wives? Are there bad husbands? So you should be able to identify, and so that you address those things that makes one a bad wife and make one a bad husband. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, the people usually, that's why you see, when you were going to look at it, in those days, I don't know why people are doing this. In those days, I remember when my husband was coming to look for me, you know, my father's people sent people to their village to look out for some certain things. If there are madness, you understand? Okay. That's premarital cancer. What we are doing in those days, and we don't know what we are doing then, you know, if there's history of madness, drug abuse, or whatever. Do you understand? Because they believe that the way you're going to act in the house is directly proportionate to how you were raised, to your upbringing. That relationship between you and your caregiver from the very onset. And that's true. It's in the theory.
So most of the
counseling
problem
theory.
is from
yes.
how we were raised.
How we were raised. You see a bitter woman. There's nothing you can do for a bitter woman. A bitter woman who grew up from a home that the mother was molested, bastard by the father. Do you understand? That girl will grow up to become very insensitive to any man that comes her way.
Until she goes through counseling.
And we make her understand. We give her an awareness. They say awareness leads to insight. We now make her understand that, look, come out from this. This is not the right way. This is not the right strategy. You are wrong. If she doesn't pass through that, my dear, you can never, there's nothing you do for that such woman that will make her change. Because she saw bitterness. She saw what, some they even lost their mother in that process. Do you understand? The father actually dealt with the mom, and the mom actually died. So you expect you marry such women? There's nothing you will do. Hey, there is nothing you will do. All these things I've just counted. You do this, you do that, you do this. The woman will be looking at you. You men, I know where you're going to. This is how my mother was foolish. She was so foolish to my father, doing all these things, carrying food and all that. I will not carry food, and I would not. You cannot buy me.
I've heard ladies who say, the man I'm going to marry will see shege.
Shege, thank you.
I say, you say what?
Yes.
You say the man I'm going to marry will see shege.
Yes.
Where is he coming from?
Yes.
By the time I started probing, is the foundation.
The foundation. Men, where are you look? What are you looking at? Women are the home builders. So when you get it wrong with a woman, your building you will bring your building down, because they are the foundation. They are the home builder. If they say the foundation will not stand, it will not stand though. Because they're the one building the house, not you. So a man should be very sensitive. Leave all the physical endowment. There's some things you need to check out for. Go to the village, check, ask questions. How were they raised? That's why sometimes if you see a woman that is very fat, sometimes you go and look at the mother. If you want a slim woman, if you know the kind of person that likes physical factor, sometimes they'll say go and look at the guest mom. Because when she starts giving birth to children, she will become like the mom. Do you understand? This are attachment style. The way people were raised. It's not very easy. It's a big war. To even bring these people to counseling is a big trouble. Because they don't see anything wrong in their lifestyle. So why are you trying to tamper with it, telling them this is how they were raised? This is what they feel. So that's the issue that he's having right now. So the woman or the man is not sensitive. They don't know anything. Like a man who womanizes their family, everybody they womanize. They don't believe in one man, one woman. Do you understand? The father did it. The elder brother, the same thing. Do you understand? It's like a lineage thing. So you as a woman, you're coming to make the woman sit and stick to you. How now? Going through counseling process and everything. It takes the grace of God for you to even pull that man to a counselor, to talk, to speak to him, that will resonate with him, his conscience. It's a difficult thing. That's why marriage didn't go wrong. It started wrongly.
So if you see a woman who who disrespect the husband,
yes,
is her upbringing.
Yes, go and look at the attachment style. I'm able to submit today, do the things I do because I was raised in an environment when I saw my mom, being real. If my mom, hey goodness, if they say respect, I am not close to my mom. My father was as in served, as in pampered like a child. My father's on this, everything must be intact, the best shit. And my father has 3 wives. Yes. My mom was doing all these things. His food that he ate, everything. Did you understand? That's a woman who feels here. This is my husband, not everybody's husband. I'm just playing my role. I'm in my divine purpose, so I don't care whether you are married to this man, but I am playing my role as a wife. So that's how, that's where this upbringing comes from. That's why you see, I'm able to go into counseling and be able to tap the things I need to tap and use it. Do you understand? This strong foundation came from somewhere. So it is key.
The foundation.
Yes, the foundation.
Right. Kanu says, Max, a great program and quite interesting as always. Again, our daughters listening, interested. Very unfortunate what goes these days in homes. Anything goes with them. Hi, Max, and the guest in the studio. All I can say is God bless you all for a job well done.
Thank you.
Son from Oiwe. So the man who called in, if you check, Mrs. Harriet said it, the foundation.
The foundation is key.
So for those
but if
who
you
are
can
not
convince
yet married,
them, bring them to counseling, they said awareness leads to insight. When you let them know, because some of them are not aware, it's ignorance. You understand? So if you can tap into them and let them know that, look, this is wrong, they change.
Mrs. Harriet is simply a virtuous woman. You could see the things she does, including go to learn about her favorite soup for her husband.
Yes,
and it can only come from a virtuous woman, which unfortunately over 90% of women of the 90s till date are not virtuous women, as virtuousness includes submissiveness, which very limited of women out there are submissive men. Me, the jealous Mrs. Harriet husband.
My husband can hear you. Don't worry.
Well, that's how much you can take on the program. Go to
Premier Women, please.
on Facebook.
Like and share, please.
Share.
Please.
Go there, you see a lot of
I
things.
have a lot of things. I beg. You will see my photo.
Send her a DM. If you're also a guy who probably we want to marry, she can counsel you.
Why not?
A lady
bring
also,
your wife to me. No problem.
All right. If you're a man also, your wife is doing any. Mrs. Harriet can
Let's talk as women,
Thank you, Mrs. Harriet.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Stay with us for the news.
Don't get it mixed up. You are listening to Today 95.1 FM, your premium talk, news, and sports station in Port Harcourt. We are the voice of the people. Tune in for a journey beyond the ordinary.
Fasten your seatbelt.
We're not just a station.
We are the station.
Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. This is the World News on your premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt, and the headlines. Suspended Governor Ismaila Fubara denies allegations made against him by former head of service George Wike. President Tinubu signs investment securities bill into law. Northern Senators Forum condemns mob killings in Edo. On the foreign scene, expert link Yama's building boom to earthquake. I am Lucky Maxwell. Former Rivers State Head of Service George Wike has accused suspended Governor Ismaila Fubara of orchestrating the 2023 bombing of the State House Assembly complex. Wike alleges this action was taken to prevent his impeachment by lawmakers aligned with Minister Nyesom Wike. Wike, who recently resigned from his position, made these accusations during a press briefing on Friday. He claimed to have witnessed a cash handover to Edison Ehie, then a former assembly leader, and later Fubara's chief of staff, for the purpose of attacking the assembly complex. Wike also alleged a subsequent attempt to destroy the assembly members' residential quarters, which he said was prevented by a public press conference. He further claimed Fubara had expressed regret at not demolishing the assembly hall earlier. He stated that he resigned voluntarily, contrary to rumors of dismissal or coercion. Wike also alleged that Fubara had made statement regarding using the job people to influence national politics, referencing control over oil pipelines.
It all started with the State House Assembly where the governor, Ismaila Fubara, directed his chief of staff to burn down the assembly in a way to avert the suspected impeachment. That evening, Edison was in government house with many of his boys, including the former chairman of Obiakpo, one Mr. Chijoke. I was there with them when a bag of money was handed over to Edison for that operation, though I did not actually know what it was meant for or the amount inside. I want to tell Rivers people today, the House Assembly was complex. In Moscow Road was clearly brought down by the two of Edison and some of his girls. Under the instruction of the sitting governor then, I challenged them to open confrontation, and this will make us to throw more light.
Meanwhile, the wife of the former head of service of the state, Florence Wike, has claimed she was afraid for her husband's life and had no idea where he was. Battling with emotions and concerns, she called on Nigerians, others, for help. Her cry for help came hours after her husband had given an exclusive interview in which he revealed several allegations against Rivers Governor Ismaila Fubara. Florence Wike, in another video, called on Governor Fubara to intervene over her husband's whereabouts. In her cry for help, Florence Wike said her husband was in trouble and was being forced to confess to things he knew nothing about, and that he had resigned to avoid trouble. Beyond raising the alarm in an interview with newsmen, she also made a call to Governor Fubara, pleading with him to help her husband.
Is that governor?
Yes, yes.
Is that this way? My husband is in trouble. Where could I help you?
What happened?
He went to Abuja this morning. I remember he said his friend Ogini from Abuja called him. My husband is in trouble. I can't get this. I can't get this. My husband is in trouble. My husband is in trouble. All this work has finished off. If you should help me, my husband is in trouble.
No, madam, I don't. I saw something this evening that granted media. Listen, I don't. So I'm even surprised that.
Former River State Head of Service George Nweke has denied reports that he was kidnapped and forced to address the press yesterday. Nweke insisted that he was in Abuja to report himself an event in River State to security agencies. The suspended governor of River State, Simeon Fubara, has denied the allegations made against him by the former head of service in the state, George Nweke. Nweke, who resigned as head of service on Tuesday, accused Fubara of being the arrowhead of the political crisis in the state. He also alleged that the suspended governor held meetings with militants and encouraged the destruction of oil pipelines in the state. Former River State Governor Rotimi Amechi has accused President Bola Tinubu of using the state of emergency to intimidate governors who may oppose him in the 2027 general election. Amechi, speaking to an international media outlet, alleged that the crisis in River State is rooted in a dispute over the sharing of River State funds. Amechi questioned the legality of the state of emergency, suggesting that President Tinubu's actions are unconstitutional. He proposed two solutions to address the issue. People's Democratic Party (PDP) governors should challenge the suspension in court, and a national protest should be organized to stop what he termed an illegal suspension.
It makes democracy unstable. So that's what's going on in River State between the president and the FCT minister. One, the president wants a power grab. They want to frighten governors who may likely not support them for 2027. So the rumor is everywhere. If you're not careful, the president will remove you. So this is all about sharing money and 2027 politics. What is stability? Tell me what is stability in River State. Is it between the governor and the former governor or the FCT minister? If the president says it's insecurity, oh, they blew the pipe. What about the other parts of the country where there is insecurity? Is the president saying that he too, they should impose emergency rule on him? They can't, because he's a democratically elected president. They can impose emergency rule on him. They should resist the president. By democratically protesting against the president's decision. In South Africa, don't you protest? Don't the police come out to chase you home? What is material is that I have led protests in this country, both as a student, as a...
The former Minister of Transportation also claimed that President Tinubu and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, are the masterminds behind the political crisis in River State. Amechi emphasized that as the constitutional head of security, President Tinubu should not shift the blame to suspended Governor Simeon Fubara.
So now the fact that those pipes, if they were blown, I don't know what happened in River State, the fact that it happened, the governor has no security responsibility. Security responsibility rests squarely on the president. So why punish a man who did not commit an offense? So anyway, that's the answer to the question you raised. I don't want to embarrass the National Assembly. Trust me, I don't want to, because I was a member of the parliament. I've left the sacredness of the parliament the way it is. Since I left the River State Parliament as Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, I have never criticized the National Assembly. And I've told all those who have passed through the National Assembly, especially those who have served as either Speaker or the Senate President, that the reason why I don't criticize them is because I was once a member of Parliament. But they should check themselves and see whether they're doing the right thing.
Away from the political crisis in River State, President Bola Tinubu has given presidential assent to the Investment and Securities Bill, thus providing for a robust regulatory framework in Nigeria's capital market. According to a statement made available to newsmen today by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the new Investment and Securities Act 2024 repeals the Investment and Securities Act 2007 and introduces key reforms aimed at boosting investor confidence, strengthening market oversight, and aligning Nigeria's financial markets with global best practices. Commenting on this milestone, the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Emomotimi Agama, lauded the President's assent as a transformative step for the capital market. Some of the key reforms include the formal recognition of virtual assets such as cryptocurrencies as securities, bringing them under the regulatory oversight of the Securities and Exchange Commission. The Act also expands the definition of securities to cover investment contracts, ensuring that digital asset operators, exchanges, and service providers comply with investor protection standards. The Act clarifies securities exchanges into composite and non-composite exchanges, with the former allowing all categories of securities while the latter focuses on specific types of financial instruments. You're listening to the World News on Today95.1 FM Port Harcourt. We'll be right back after the short break.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, the rest of the news. The Northern Senators Forum has said it is deeply disturbed and saddened by the lynching of travelers in Edo State. The victims were gruesomely murdered by a mob in the Urumi area of Edo State on the suspicion of being criminals. The travelers were said to be hunters. A statement signed by Chairman Abdulaziz Yaradua on behalf of the group said the sad incident was a case of the victims being tagged as Fulani kidnappers. The forum condemned the act, describing it as a violation of the fundamental human rights of the victims. It called on the Edo State government to swing into action on the incident. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of the University of Port Harcourt, Mao Ohabunwa, has called for the establishment of an agency to expand the scope of the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, HYPREP. Ohabunwa, a former senator and member of the House of Representatives, made the statement during a court's visit to HYPREP's office in Port Harcourt. He pledged to push for the enactment of a law that would elevate HYPREP from a project to a full-fledged agency, enabling it to remediate other oil-impacted areas across the country. Ohabunwa commended HYPREP's efforts in Ogoniland and acknowledged the contributions of Uniport alumni to the project's growth. In his remarks, the Vice-Chancellor of the Uniport, Professor Uwunari Georgewit, assured HYPREP of the university's continued intellectual support and partnership. On his part, the project coordinator of HYPREP, Professor Neni Barinizabe, highlighted the project's achievement, including the establishment of a Center for Excellence for Research in Environmental Knowledge.
Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration is conceived to be a center that will promote multidisciplinary, cutting-edge, innovative research in environmental remediation and restoration, and also contribute a lot training Nigerian youth, because it has two faculties. Faculty for research and development, which is for environmental research, and the faculty for vocational skill acquisition, which is for capacity building of Nigerian youth, particularly the young youth. So today we are very excited to have the management of the University of Port Harcourt.
Today FM's Priyezogo reports that the Governing Council of Uniport also embarked on a tour of the center's construction site in Wiyakara Community, Kana local government area. The leadership of the National Youth Council of Nigeria's South-South Zone has declared that it has taken over the leadership of the NYCN in River State following the expiration of the tenure of its former chairman, Muisabari Bani. The leadership of the South-South Zone of the NYCN, while describing as baseless, joke taken too far, a false information circulating on social media, dismissed the purported re-election of Muisabari Bani as NYCN state chairman, urging the public to disregard the fraud process to re-elect himself as chairman. The vice president of NYCN South-South, Innocent Ajayi, in a statement in reaction to the claims, clarified that with Bani's tenure having ended, the zone was about to organize a unity congress to usher in a new leadership of the NYCN in River State. Ajayi advised the general public to disregard the purported election and urged the leaders and stakeholders of the National Youth Council in Nigeria to work together for the common goals in the electoral process.
We don't step into any state. We wait in the expiration of his tenure. Well, since his tenure expires on the 23rd of March, automatically as the zonal vice president, I stepped in based on the provision of the constitution. So we had on the capacity as a zonal leader to be overseeing the affairs of River State, which automatically I'm to call for the previous letter. I'm calling for River State management meeting where all stakeholders and volunteers of organization will meet and agree and set up a technical committee. But I believe that the less than 48 hours. I think those will be 18 of the past.
Today FM Suchenda Joe reports that the NYCN South-South Organizing Secretary Uko Michael also noted that the purported re-election did not adhere to the constitutional provisions of the council and thus was null and void.
There was nothing like election. It was a gathering of young people who gathered. Pani, who was the very past chairman, now went and joined them. So there was nothing like election. And for election to be held, 7 persons have to sign the election result. The representative of the Federal Minister of Youth must sign as the minister. The office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President must sign. The police must sign the result. The SSS must sign the result. The returning officer must sign the result. Then the electoral board chairman must sign the result. So 7 persons must sign the result. Anything less than that, there is no election. My message to the public is that I must apologize for the desperation that I've taken too far, because he was a duly elected chairman. If he wanted to contest, nobody could have stopped him from contesting.
As the Easter celebration approaches, set to take place from April 17 to 19, 2025, members of the Messianic Movement Port Harcourt Sea Hub have insisted that Easter is not a biblical observance. Instead, the non-governmental organization has announced plans to host a biblical New Year 5785 Passover Mega Rally, an event aimed at preaching the kingdom of Yahweh and his son, Yeshua, rather than promoting the name of Jesus as many Christians do. The president of Messianic Movement International, Evangelist Lazarus Okemwa, emphasized that the event is a faith-based non-profit initiative, as he explained that the rally is themed First Abib, not 1st January, signifying that the biblical New Year, Abib, has been recognized since the time of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okemwa announced that the Passover Mega Rally will be held on March 30, 2025 at Rumodara Junction, Aba Road, Port Harcourt by 2 p.m. and urged the general public to attend and hear the word of Yahweh Almighty and his Son, Yeshua.
Our goal is to re-evangelize the world about the Messiah Yeshua, because we found out that the world had been evangelized but with the wrong message. And now we came with the right message of the kingdom about the Messiah Yahushua HaMashiach, who happens to be the true name of the Son of the living Yahweh, whom you call Jesus. The name Jesus was non-existent in his time. In fact, research made us to understand that the name Jesus from the letter J is less than 500 years old. That means that when the Messiah was here on earth, he was not called by that name Jesus. He was addressed by the name Yeshua. The one that the Almighty recognizes as the New Year is the 1st of Abib, which is going to be occurring on the 29th evening of March, stroke the next day, which is 30th, which is on Sunday, when we are going to be having that rally.
Also speaking, the resident pastor of Yahweh People's Assembly, Mbo Emoha, Evangelist Matthew Eziwo, reiterated that the purpose of the event is to spread the teachings of Yahweh and Yeshua. Eziwo, who also serves as the patron of the Messianic Movement Port Harcourt Sea Hub, called on the public to seize the opportunity to listen to the message of Yahweh, the creator of heaven and earth, and his son, Yeshua, the Messiah, who died for the sins of the world.
Our duty is to preach the original message of salvation that was given to mankind from Israel, from the Hebraic roots. That is the name Yahweh and Yahushua the Messiah. And to re-evangelize the world in line to bring the world back to the original faith, because the original calendar was the lunar calendar from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob generation. It was changed by Emperor Gregory, the emperor that ruled Roman Empire. 30th of March tally with the Hebraic lunar calendar of 1st Abib. Messianic Movement International chose to rally around Port Harcourt City to tell them that the actual New Year Day is 1st Abib and not 1st of January.
On the foreign scene, experts say that the devastating earthquake in Myanmar on Friday was likely the strongest to hit the country in decades, with disaster modeling suggesting thousands could be dead. Automatic assessment from the United States Geological Survey said the shallow 7.7 magnitude quake northwest of the central Myanmar city of Sagaing triggered a red alert for shaken relative fatalities and economic losses. Myanmar's ruling junta said today that the number killed had passed 1,000, with more than 2,000 injured. However, the USGS analysis said there was a 35% chance that possible fatalities could be in the range of 10,000 to 100,000 people. USGS offered a similar likelihood that the financial damage could total tens of thousands of millions of dollars, warning that it might exceed the GDP of Myanmar. Weak infrastructure will complicate relief efforts in the isolated, military-ruled state where rescue services and the healthcare system have already been ravaged by 4 years of civil war sparked by a military coup in 2021. To end the news, as a summary of the major stories, we told you that suspended Governor Ismaila Fubara has denied allegations made against him by the former head of service, George Wike. President Tinubu has signed the Investment Securities Bill into law. Northern Senators Forum has condemned the mob killings in Edo. On the foreign scene, you heard that experts have linked Myanmar's building boom to an earthquake. Priye Izogu, Edo Telpe News. For comment and inquiries, please call 01838928850. Send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. Read our stories on todayfmlive.com. Good afternoon. I'm Lucky Maxwell.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Don't get it mixed up. You are listening to Today 95.1 FM, your premium talk, news, and sports station in Port Harcourt. We are the voice of the people. Tune in for a journey beyond the ordinary.
Fasten your seatbelt.
We're not just a station.
We are the station.
Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Welcome to Echoes from Heaven with Nathaniel Osawe. Be blessed as you listen.
We have looked at life from God's perspective. We have seen what is God's view about life, what God says about life, how God views life. And three things we pointed out: that to God, life is a test. Every man who is alive is going through a test, is a testing period. Life is a test. Secondly, we saw that life is a temporary assignment. It's an assignment that God has given to every one of us, and we better be careful what we do with the life that God has given to us, and that it is temporary. No matter how long you live on this earth, one day it will come to an end. And the Bible says it is appointed unto men once to die, and after that is the judgment. After death, there is judgment. Please don't let anybody deceive you. When death ends, or when death comes, what follows is judgment. There is judgment after death. Every one of us. So first, that life is a test. We are all going through a test. Every one of us. This world is like an exam hall. This life is like an examination hall. It's like we are all in an examination hall. We are all writing an exam. We are all being tested. We are all being tested. And someday, the result will be shown. Someday, on the final day, the result will be out. Life is a test. Life is a temporary assignment. It is an assignment that God has given to you. Be careful how you use it. And thirdly, we saw that life is a trust. It is something that God has committed to us. It is not our own. Everything we have in this life, God has given to us. And that someday, the Bible says, we will give account. Each man will give account of himself to God. Someday, each one of us must answer to God. Maybe you think you are not accountable to anybody how you live your life. You don't answer to anybody what you do. As a married man, you think you can live the way you want to live and your wife cannot question you. As a woman, you can do what you want to do. Your husband cannot talk to you. Fine. But know that someday you will give an account to God. You will answer to God someday. Maybe you don't answer to anybody how you live your life, what you do. You do whatever pleases you. But the Bible says every one of us must give account of himself to God. So life is a test, is a trust, and is a temporary assignment. Be careful what you do with the one life that God has given to you, because there is a day of reckoning. So we have looked at life from God's perspective. God's perspective. How does God view life? What does God have to say about life? The other thing we want to talk about today is sin. Sin, S-I-N, sin. Sin. What is God's perspective of sin? You know, man's perspective of sin is that sin is pleasure. Sin is fun. They call sin fun. They call sexual immorality fun. They call it pleasure. They call it enjoyment. Somebody who is given to defrauding people, cheating people, he calls it smartness. They say this guy is smart. He's smart. He can deceive people. He knows how to lie, how to deceive people, how to cheat. They call it smartness. So people see stealing, fraud, deception. They call it smartness, being smart. They call sin pleasure. They call it wisdom, being wise. This guy is a wise guy. They call it sharpness. To man, that's how man views sin. But that's not how God views sin. That's not how God views unrighteousness. That's not how God views iniquity. First of all, the Bible tells us in Romans 15 verse 4 that whatsoever things are written in Scripture, they were written for our learning. Everything that is written in Scripture is written for our learning. All the stories we see in the Bible, they are written so that we will learn from them. Let's start from the very beginning. The story of Adam and Eve. How God gave them commandment. God gave them instruction. But they decided to violate that commandment. They decided to disobey it, to go contrary to the instruction of God. And we know how it ended. We know how it ended. We know the problem and the pain and the calamity that the world faces today. Everything is traceable to that act of disobedience. When Adam and Eve decided to disobey God, to go contrary to the instruction and the commandment of God. That is why we see all the pain, all the trouble, all the violence, the bloodshed, all the calamity, the disaster we see today. Everything is as a result of that singular act of disobedience, when man chose to disobey God. The Bible says all that is written in Scripture is written for our learning. So there is something for us to learn from that story of Adam and Eve. There's something for us to learn. You read the story of David. You read the story of Solomon. You read the story of Abraham. All the stories you read in the Bible says everything that is written for our learning. I'll come back to that. Let me say this. Man's natural instinct, man's natural tendency and disposition is self-preservation and self-interest. Man gravitates towards whatever is in his interest. Man naturally is inclined towards anything that is in his interest, anything that is for self-preservation, anything that is for his good. That's what people want, things that are for their good. Anything that is in their interest. That's man's natural instinct and man's natural disposition. Now, I come back to the scripture in Romans 15 verse 4 that says all the things that are written in scriptures are written for our learning. If you read through the scriptures, you come to one conclusion. There's one lesson for us to learn. It is the fact that sin is not in man's interest. Remember I said that man's natural disposition and man's natural tendency is to gravitate, is to move towards anything that is in his interests, anything that is in his interest. Self-preservation, self-interest is a natural instinct of man. But I have said that as you read through the Bible, one lesson you will learn, one lesson that stands out is the fact that sin, no matter what the sin is not in man's best interest. Starting from Adam and Eve, when they disobeyed God, is that disobedience, as it led to the interest of man today, did it lead to the benefit of mankind? No. The Bible says all the things that are written in scriptures are written for our learning. So all the stories we see in the Bible, people who disobeyed God, people who sinned against God, one thing that we'll learn from them is that disobedience can never lead to blessing. It is the fact that disobeying God's commandment, disobeying God's instruction, walking contrary to the precepts and to the order and the ordinance of God will never end in a blessing. It is that one lesson we learn from scriptures as we read through all the stories. We read of David who saw a naked woman and went after the woman, slept with the woman and killed the woman's husband. How did it end for him? See all the trouble and the pain it brought to him and brought to his family. So one lesson we learn from that is that sin can never have a happy ending. Please hear that. Sin can never have a happy ending. It can never end well. At the beginning, you may be happy. At the middle, you may be happy. But it can never have a happy ending in this world or in eternity. That is the eternal decree of God, that sin can never end well. Sin can never have a happy ending. You may be in a sinful relationship. At the beginning of that relationship, you think you are happy. You think you are enjoying. Look at all those people. Oh, they call it heartbreaks or whatever. And then they are crying. He did this to me. He did that to you. But when you were in that relationship, you thought you were enjoying. And so you may be in a sinful relationship. Right now, you think it's enjoyment. You're having a great time. Maybe the man is taking you around the world. You are going to Dubai. You are going to this place and going to the Caribbean, going on vacation, and you think you're having a nice time. Sin may be pleasurable. It may be sweet at the beginning, at the middle, but the end will never be sweet. That is the eternal decree. The Bible says, though hand join in hand, the sinner will not go unpunished. It can never, never end well. It can never, never end well. One lesson we learn from scripture is that sin is never in the interest of man. Sin is never for the welfare of man. Sin is not for the benefit of man. Sir, adultery is not in your interest. Fornication is not in your interest. Maybe you are a businessman. Maybe you are whatever you are doing, you are a tradesperson. You are deceiving people. You buy something for 10,000 naira, you tell them it's 15,000 naira, and then you think you are making money. You use that money to build a house. You use that money to buy a car, and you think you are wise. You think you are sharp. Hear the word of the Lord today, that sin will never end well. Sin can never have a happy ending. It cannot. You may enjoy for a while. You may enjoy. The Bible the Bible says in Hebrews that Moses decided to forsake the passing pleasures of sin. He decided to reject. He says he chose to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. The pleasures of sin are only for a season. They are only for a while. One lesson we learn from scriptures is that sin is not in your interest. In this world, in eternity, sin is never in the interest of man. Man's natural instinct, we have said, is towards self-preservation and self-interest. Anything that will benefit man, that is what man gravitates towards. Now, see the way people are so meticulous in choosing what they eat. They carefully avoid certain foods because they have been told that those foods are harmful to their health. They have been told that this thing is not good for your health. If you want to live long, avoid this kind of food. This one is not, oh, when you get to 40, when you get to 50, avoid this. Go to the gym, do exercise. And then you see the way people are doing those. Go to the gym. You see the way people are, they are very active. They are doing all of those things because they have been told that these things will preserve their lives. Because they have been told that these things are good for them. They avoid certain foods because they have been told that those foods are not good for them. But why is it that man is so foolish that what God said is not good for man? What God said is not good, is not in the interest of man, which is sin. The same people who are careful to avoid food that is not good for their health, they are not careful to avoid sin. Go to the gym and see the way people spend good. The Bible says bodily exercise profits a little. Yes, there's profit in exercise. Yes, it is good for your health. But the Bible says godliness is much better. It has profit both for this life and for the life to come. But why is it that the same people who are careful about their diet, careful about exercise, they are not careful about godliness? They are not careful about righteousness. They are not careful about shunning sin and shunning iniquity. Is there anything that is as harmful to man's interest? Is there anything that is as detrimental to man's interest and welfare as sin? Nothing. But people avoid these other things. They avoid food that the doctor said they are not good for their health, but they are not as careful to avoid sin. How do you see a man every day? The man goes jogging. You see him on the road. He's jogging. He's running. He says, I want to keep fit. But the same man is an adulterer. You want to keep fit physically and you are dying spiritually. Sir, the Bible calls you a foolish man. The Bible calls you a foolish man. That you are so concerned about your body. You are not concerned about your soul. Sin is destroying your soul. Sin is damning your soul. And all you are concerned about is preserving your physical body. This body that when you die, the day you die, that's the end. You are so concerned about maintaining it and preserving it, but you are not concerned about preserving your soul for eternity. And so you are concerned about your diet. You are concerned about exercise. You are not concerned about righteousness. You are not deliberate and meticulous and diligent to turn away from sin like you are to turn away from food that is harmful to your body. Sin is harmful, is detrimental to the interest of man, both in this world and eternity. People are so careful to avoid things that can hurt their health, that can negatively impact on their health, but they are not careful to shun sin. Is there anything that can cause man as much pain, harm, and hurt, both in this world and in eternity, as sin? The Bible says in Job 24 verse 19, it says, as heat and drought snatch away the melted snow, from the NIV. It says, so the grave, death, snatches away those who have sinned. The grave snatches those who sin. Death comes for those who sin. You cannot separate it. There's a connection between death and sin.
I believe you have been blessed. Tune in next week for another refreshing episode of Echoes from Heaven. Please let us know how you have been blessed through this program by calling, texting, or sending a WhatsApp message to this number 081-355-57592. Once again, 081-355-57592. You can also send an email to echoesfh@gmail.com. ECHOESFH@gmail.com. God bless you.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Johnny, love is a beautiful thing. This love's not for you and me. Be my Juliet and I'll be your Romeo. My love. It's the hand of God, now him bring it to me. It's indescribable what you mean to me. Would you be my Juliet and I'll be your Romeo? My love. Oh yeah, yeah. Would you be my Juliet and I'll be your Romeo? My love. My love. And when the stars come out tonight, I'll think about you, my love. My love. And in the dark I see your lovely eyes. Darling, you are my light. You are my love. Like empty and I will find you everywhere you go. And like Chuck and Jake, our love will never grow. Please be my Juliet and I'll be your Romeo. My love. Yeah, yeah. Would you be my Juliet and I'll be your Romeo? My love. My love. And when the stars come out tonight, She'll be my Juliet and I'll be your Romeo. Oh, my love. Oh, my love. I dey sing, you dey dance, you dey wine. When you cry, I go wipe your eyes. Give me your bag, make I feel like we go. I'm the only one, you don't need another. I hold you down, you know this, baby. And I've told you now, I'm right there, I there for you, baby. You know, just anywhere where I want you. If I could, I would love you in my next life. I don't really care about tomorrow. As long as you there right now, I go there fine. You got me here when I low, low. Girl, you can take my soul. All these things where they talk right now, I just love my body and mood. Oh. Body and soul. Body and soul. Oh. Body and soul. I love the way you put it on me. That's the way you do me, you demand me. It's a vibe and I'm rocking your body. The competition for your side, oh, they know this. They keep looking well out of the novice. Only you, I wanna need nobody, no. Oh, 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 oh. So baby girl, I hold you down. You know this, baby. And I've told you now. I dare, yeah, I dare for you, baby. I hold you down. You know this, baby. And I've told you now. I dare, yeah, I dare for you, baby. Just anywhere where I want to. If I could, I would love you in my next life. I don't really care about tomorrow. As long as you did it right now, I go there fine. You got me out when I low. Sorry if I take my soul. All these things that I did talk right now, I just feel up for my body and soul. You are the one for me. Hey, talk about, you not care what them talk about. You there for me, oh, I there for you, no matter what them talk about. Hey, run them out, my mother just to run them out. As long as you there for me, girl, I there for you, no matter what them talk about. You are the one for me. The only for me. You are the one for me. My soul, baby, make them go. You're all I need, you're all I want. My phone, so be nice, baby, make them go. Anybody will put us under no go. Them no get walk, oh baby, leave them, make them. Baby, my phone, my love, my love. Baby, not toto, baby, make them run their mouth. You are the one for me. The only for me. You are the one for me. Nothing they say can move me away from you. It's my body and my money belongs to you. Nothing they say can take me away from you. My God, all joined together, you are something. One soul, my
Never got they hold us down. NMG Records.
OT, OT. OT, OT. Mr. Crazy on this one again.
Mr. Crazy.
Come on, easy. Alongside. It's never too late, oh. If you never back, make you come get, oh. Make you show face, oh. Me, I play your cool, we know the play games, oh. Ah, we the touchdown. We rapping now, we the run down. See the girl, she the bend down. She give me body, then I shut down. Sexy Ashanti. I met her in a canteen. She tell me, boy, why you ranting? I spend cash, she's fronting. Baby girl, make you slow down. Me like the way that you bend down. No be vibe, no be smackdown. I'ma get you, calm down. Give me more shit, give me more show. The love I give you, baby, why go? Ah, why go? Ah, why go? Give me more shit, give me more show. The love I give you, baby, why go? Ah, why go? Ah, why go? It's never too late, oh. If you get for back, make you come get, oh. Make you show face, oh. Me, I play your fool, we know the play games, oh. Ah, we the touchdown. We rapping now, we the run down. See the girl, she the bend down. She give me body, then I shut down. Yeah, goes up. International boy with a loca. Oh yeah, no number. My love, I'm going to let go in tosa. Yeah. Kini mo say, oh. Chop my money like say if you want to, oh. Now, oh, want to, oh. It's time to go be, I want to get one to. Yeah, be like, say, she don't bribe police for you, child. She drop few pounds, yeah. And I'm ready to go round. You're not for me, I know more easy just to go round. Yeah, but be like, say, she won't bribe police for you, child. She drop few pounds, yeah. And I'm ready to go round. You're not for me, I know more easy just to go round, yeah, yeah. It's never too late, oh. If you there for back, make you come get, oh. Make you show face, oh. Me, I play your cool, we know the play games, oh. Ah, we the touchdown. We rapping now, we the run down. See the girl, she the bend down. She give me money, then I shut down. Now who there? Now we there. Mr. Greasy on this one again. Baby. We the touchdown. We rapping now, we the run down. See the girl, she the bend down. She give me body, then I shut down. Ah, we the touchdown. We rapping now, we the run down. See the girl, she the bend down. She give me body, then I shut down. ordinary, more magical. Between, oh critical. Tell me, baby, let's get physical. Me, I no be criminal. Show my baby for me, King Fenula.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Please listen to this paid infomercial.
Herbal Heritage International, the Kokoroko, for herbal medicine, when they produce strong, correct medicine, they take it, they support the country healthcare system. Country man, correct, holistic, ogbonge herbal medicine, they know they come out for public anyhow, like a big basket, full ground, as every Christmas have been boundary, seeking itself, sabi medicine will pass them. After all, monkey smart now, because tree near tree is our forest. Heritage International will use the technology of computer testing machine to see and know before attacking that your health condition, we don't become ubarumba for your life with the correct treatment. Therefore, whether definition or without definition, make you visit Herbal Heritage International. Offices way near you. Herbal Heritage International. Now you.
Hello and welcome to the program Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. On today's edition of the program, our topic for discussion is staphylococcal infection. And I have with me in the studio Dr. Botumba Abiodun. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Staphylococcal infections do occur in the body system when Staphylococcus bacteria enters into the body system and spread within the body system, destroying body cells. Staphylococcus bacteria are majorly of three types that can afflict men. But of these three, the most pathogenic in nature, that is the one that is capable of causing diseases easily in men, is the Staphylococcus aureus, because it is capable of invading body cells, destroying them, causing different pathological changes in the body. When Staphylococcus bacteria spread in the body system, there are a number of changes that one can experience. This can result to burning sensation within the individual, and this can be seen as fever from time to time, or a situation where there is certain hotness coming from within. There can be skin manifestations in staphylococcal infection that can be given one periodic boils or rashes all over the body. In some people, such rashes can come around the pubic region, or even leading to boils that can lead to blisters or even ulcers on the skin. It is possible for one to experience persistent headache in staphylococcal infection because the body fluid is already contaminated. Staphylococcus, as we know, is a form of bacteria. Any bacteria that is capable of spreading in the body system can lead to reactions in the body that can further damage body tissues. And when this occurs, it is possible for one to experience joint pains in form of infective arthritis. Part of this bacteria can spread deep into the tissues of the heart, affecting the valves of the heart. And when this occurs, you discover that there can be palpitation that some will start witnessing as if they have panic attack. When this is allowed to continue in the body system, it is possible for one to start getting tired easily. There are many people, by walking from one pole to another, they get tired, or by doing just something that is not supposed to be that tasking in terms of energy consumption, they discover that it's as if they don't have enough hair where they are located. All this can be as a result of weakness of the heart resulting from infection or spread of this bacteria we're talking about. When this bacteria is able to pollute the body fluid, it is possible for one to witness mouth odor. Mouth odor is a form of changes that is called halitosis, where people will start coming up with breath coming from within that is already polluted. There is no amount of time such people wash their mouth, you discover that the breath coming out is very offensive. All this can be as a result of pollution of the body system. It is possible if any bacteria is able to dwell so long in the body system to contaminate the whole body fluid and even damage nerves. When nerves are damaged, there can be tiredness. Not only this, it is possible for men to suffer a lot because this can degenerate to a situation where a man is unable to stand like a real man. When a man is unable to stand like a real man, it is seen as a serious challenge because the whole family can be affected. Part of the joy of the relationship can be stolen, and this can cause different rancors in the family. A man that is unable to stand as he should can find it difficult to get arousal. The desire for opposite sex can disappear, and once that arousal is not there, that is the ignition point. It means such a man will not be able to stand like a real man. In some people, the arousal can be there, but you discover that because nerves have been damaged, the transmission from the upper center down to the power point of man, that is in between his two thighs, can be weakened. When such occurs, you discover that such a man can even get arousal or is able to stand, but the type of standing that he has is not strong enough to help him to even get into the act. In some people, they make efforts to get into the act, but you discover that they are unable to spend more than a minute or more before they are exhausted. Mind you, before a man can be called a real man, such a man must be able to have the arousal as desired and also be able to sustain the energy he has been able to gather for a considerable length of time. That is when such a man can be able to make his partner happy when it comes to man-to-woman interaction. So such men do suffer from this from time to time. It's after knowing the root cause of the challenge that one will be able to know the right step to take for one to be totally free. Whenever you experience anything that we have been able to mention or other things, it's very important for one to visit a competent healthcare giver who will be able to run tests on one and pinpoint where the problem lies and provide solution. For more enlightenment and advice, the number to call is 080-33-111-946. I repeat, 080-33-111-946. Thank you all.
All right, you've been listening to the program Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Equator Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Equator Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080-33-111-946. I repeat, 080-33-111-946. 080-33-111-946. I repeat, 080-33-111-946. Let's take our sponsor's message. Don't go away. We shall be right back.
Herbal Heritage International, the Gokoroko for herbal medicine when they produce strong, correct medicine. They take it, they support with country healthcare system. Quantly man, correct bakelistic ogbonge herbal medicine. They we know they come out for public anyhow like a big basket. Full ground as every Christmas have been boundary. Sickness self sabi medicine will pass them. After all, monkey smart now because tree near tree is a forest. Heritage International go use the technology of computer testing machine to see and know before attacking that your health condition. We don't become ubarugba for your life with the correct treatment. Therefore, whether definition or without definition, make you visit Herbal Heritage International. Offices way near you. Herbal Heritage International. Now
You're welcome back to Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. Until we come your way again, remain blessed.
And that was a paid infomercial.
Maybe home is somebody's smile when they look at you for the first time. Maybe home is being a home to something you love and adore with all your heart. And that is what life, friendship, and love are all about. Maybe home is listening to all of your favorite shows on Today95.1 FM. We create memories. We inspire comfort. We are the voice of the people, and we are home away from home.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lovers of the beautiful game, it's time for the Fans Arena, a 3-hour sports show that serves you the latest happenings in your favorite club sides, plus the banter and expert analysis. Are you a Rivers United, Ayimba, or Rangers fan? We have you covered. For the Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, and City fans, be sure to get updates and biggest talking points from your clubs. The top teams in La Liga, Bundesliga, and Serie A, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Inter Milan, will all feature as well. The show comes your way every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Today 95.1 FM with Emeka Dina, the Odoguwon of sports in the center circle. It is informative, super exciting, and highly interactive. There will be giveaways and fantastic prizes to be won. Don't miss it. For adverts and sponsorship, call 0802-556-1258. The Fans Arena. Let's enjoy the beautiful game.
Hello everyone, my name is Finidi George, MON, former Super Eagles coach and current technical manager of Rivers United. Keep listening to the Fans Arena with Emeka Dena, the Odoguwon of sports.
Yeah, Papulu.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all out there. You're welcome once again to the Fans Arena. Yes, we are back again. We are back again. After being away for 7 days, remember this show comes your way every Saturday on this frequency. Today, 95.1 FM. Yes, from 1 to 4 p.m. We talk football, and even more football as it concerns your favorite club sides in Nigeria and, of course, out there in Europe. So all ye Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Real Madrid. Come on, name them. AC Milan, Inter Milan, Bundesliga, of